Hello friends, welcome to Universe of Naruto X. If you love Naruto what if stories and anime explanations, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now let's begin today's story. Things were not supposed to become like this. All his training, his friendship with Kurama and all other tailed beasts, all the efforts of himself and the whole Shinobi Alliance, they were supposed to win. They were meant to go on to defeat the Majiki duo and to stop the Jubi from destroying the world. But yet, despite all those things, they still lost. Morky had won. All of their efforts were wasted. All his friends, all who cared for him were murdered by the wicked power of that revived bastard. And Moa was only short of one more thing to complete the Jubi again and become what he had deceived. The poor Oido for a very long time in order to achieve a god. Yes, Kurama was still inside Na, but not for long. Soon, his newest friend would be ripped off from his body and become a part of that monster Shinju again. Everything of the few last hours flashed through his mind. He remembered Kakashi's sharing being ripped off his left eye socket as he fell and died under Mars Sasano's sword. He remembered the souls of the 4 revived Hokage being pulled away by the shadow clones with Renegan. He remembered Hinata and Sakura being impaled by an incredibly sharp root when trying to pull him out of the roots that were restraining him and sucking away his chakra. He remembered Sasuke's Susanoo being shattered and the man himself being vaporized when trying to prevent a combined tailed beast bomb from the Sharingan-controlled tailed beasts from hitting a completely exhausted Naruto sprawling on the ground. Everyone, they sacrificed their lives to protect him to allow him the chance to destroy Moa once and for all. And he failed them. He closed his eyes. Maybe if he had just given up from the beginning, this wouldn't have happened. So you decided to just give up like that. It's not like you, nah. He opened his eyes again. He was in the white room from before, and Kurama and all other tailed beasts were standing before him, looking down at him. Normally, he would have asked how they were able to meet again. But right now, it was not important anymore. Nothing was important anymore. Why shouldn't I give up? Everyone is gone. Moa has captured all of you. We lost. Na sighed heavily. All his energy seemed to be drained. He was flicked in the forehead by a tentacle of Gyuuki. Idiot. We haven't lost yet. Everyone out there is still fighting. Everyone sacrificed their lives because they believe that you shall be able to defeat Moa. Not for you to sulk and give up like this. If you Na of all people lose hope, there is nothing we can do anymore. But what can I do now? All my friends are gone. The Shinobi Alliance is or is being destroyed. I don't know what I'm fighting for anymore. With those last words, Naruto collapsed on his knees. And for the first time in many years, he cried. All of his anger, sorrow, regret, despair, and pain. Everything he held in his heart seemed to have exploded and added to the stream of tears. You know, surprisingly, it was Shukaku who raised the voice. It was different from the way Naruto had known the beast, for it was sane. I don't quite understand much about you humans, but to me, if you hate someone, even if I cannot defeat him, I would try my best to make sure that whatever he was planning won't be able to work. I don't like you quite much, but I admired you for daring to stand up against me during that battle in the past. If I hadn't, I would have made Gar destroy your little village when he finally became K's cage. Nice idea, Shuki-chan. Chom chirped in. Even in this situation, the beetle could still keep her cheerful personality. Shukaku shot her a glare of annoyance at the nickname. But how can I do it? Ma must have begun Kurama's extraction for quite some time. Now I cannot even move. Son Goku's eyes gleamed. You know that you are not alone in this, right? The extraction is nearly completed. Soon the Jubi and this world shall be mine to control. Mater's Renegan flashed hungrily when the red chakra of Kurama continuously flown into the mouth of Geto Mazo. Just a little more time and his dream shall become true. Suddenly, the statue and the ground started to rumble. What the? Mater startled. His concentration on the sealing technique faltered. What's happening? Cracks started to appear on the body of the Jubi from within. Lights and chakra could be seen flowing out. No, this is not supposed to happen. Ma cried desperately, pumping more of his chakra into the sealing jutsu. But all was in vain. Loud booming started to rise from inside the statue, and all of Geto Mazo's eyes snapped open, and it screeched as if it was in excruciating pain. Oh, then everything went white. If there's something Na hated so much, it was being woken up suddenly in the middle of the night on an extremely uncomfortable bed. His whole body was throbbing with pain. That nightmare was too incredibly real. And it's also strange and horrible, too. He could still remember quite clearly about his friends dying, his failure at beating Moa, the tailed beasts talking to him, and a huge explosion. He groaned and bared his face deeper into the pillow. He didn't want to remind himself about that terrible dream anymore, except there was no pillow at all. He was lying on a pile of straw in a shack, standing in the middle of what seemed to be the forest outside of Konoha. And in his arms was a big papery cylinder thing. What the? Na screamed and jumped out of the makeshift bed he was lying on. Then he realized, what the hell is wrong with my voice? His voice was now exactly what it was when he was 12. Well, he muttered, Kurama had better have a good explanation for this. Hey, Kurama, what the heck is going on here? Na's sweat dropped as his eyes stared at the bizarre scene in his mindscape. Inside the cage was as he could count, there were 9 heads and a whole bunch of tails, tentacles, goo, wings, whatever. And they seemed to be struggling hard against each other. Hey, stop pulling my tails. Get your tentacles off my butt, you perverted ox. Ah. Your tail, your tail. You're strangling me. My wings, you're crushing my wings. So heavy. If this hadn't been an urgent situation, this would have been a very funny scene. What is happening here? Why are you guys all inside of me? And where are we anyway? After a while, Na had enough. He exploded. His voice drew the attention of the creatures behind the bars. Ah. Na. The fox head cried out in relief. A little help here, please. Naruto's left eyebrow twitched. Couldn't you just shrink yourself or transform into something smaller and easier to get out? Ah. All the heads nodded slowly. Good point. After some more struggles and a huge puff of smoke, Naruto was now sitting on the damp floor of his mindscape, facing all 9-tailed beasts who were each in the size of a grown-up Akamaru. So, care to explain? Na looked at the beasts inside the cage. Well, it's just a little accident, you see. Kurama started. What do you mean a little accident? Na asked, raising an eyebrow. Well, you see, Kokuo, the 5 tails began. You remember that we left quite a lot of our chakra inside you when we bumped our fists, right? Turns out that the more powerful we are, the stronger the chains binding us inside the Jubi's body are. Therefore, when we were absorbed back into that statue, those chains became significantly weaker, and a normal tailed beast bomb was enough to break us free from the binding. I see. Na nodded in understanding. But that doesn't explain why I was getting there. The 5 tails stopped him. After that, we were able to talk with you again, remember? Then that knucklehead over there, he pointed one of his tails towards Goku, who scratched his head sheepishly, decided to break us free with another combined tail. Beast bomb. I told him it would be dangerous, but sadly no one listened except for me and little Psycho here. He rubbed the 6-tailed head with another tail. So, we did it anyway. And the Jubi's body was completely obliterated. So the Jubi's body was destroyed. Na nodded again. That's good, right? Yes. But well, Kokuo suddenly hesitated. You know that the Jubi was the god tree, the source of all chakra in the world, right? When it was destroyed, all the chakra from inside it exploded in an instant with an extremely powerful force. And it somehow ripped us from that timeline and sent us back to the past. And it also pushed us into the seal in your stomach. Ooh. So that's why I have my 12-year-old voice and why I was holding the forbidden scroll out there. We were sent back to the day I graduated from the academy, Na exclaimed in realization. But then something crossed his mind. But what about the others? Did they get sent back to the past, too? The tailed beasts shared a worried and regretful look. Naruto Guyuki said, a blast with enough power to send one back to the past will reduce everything to light particles. Not even Moa's strongest Susanoo could survive that explosion. It is incredibly lucky that you have us. Otherwise, you would have been erased from existence together with Moa and everything else. About the others, I'm afraid there's nothing you can do for them anymore. Naruto's shoulders slumped. So, in the end, it was nothing different. He still couldn't save anyone. He couldn't do anything to protect the people he loved. Tears started to well up in his eyes again, rolling down his cheeks and silently dropping into the already soaking ground. Then he felt something warm and fluffy wrapping around him. He raised his head and saw Kurama embracing him with her red tails. It's true, Na failed them. But think, if you really feel that bad about it, then this is your chance to redeem yourself. We're in the past when everything hadn't happened yet. Work hard and stop Ma from completing his plan in this timeline. Protect everyone you love this time. Don't let them die meaninglessly like before. Besides, she added with a chuckle, look around you. This time you are not alone. You have us together with you now and we are friends. Friends are supposed to help each other. Right. This time we're with you, Naruto. That Mo guy will not be able to ruin the future we create together anymore. Chome added cheerily. Na looked at all the beasts around him. His eyes widened. Every one of them was looking back at him with trusting and encouraging eyes. Well, except for Psycho and Chom. They don't have eyes anyway. A feeling of warmth suddenly bloomed in his heart, and he felt happy and stronger than ever. He smiled, wiping tears away from his eyes and stood up. Thank you, everyone. This time I swear I will not fail. He raised his hand and they bumped their fists again, strengthening the bond between them once more. Good job, my dear. Now go. Kurama pushed her Jinchurikis back. There is one person who needs to be saved by you right now. When Naruto faded away from their view, Matabi looked at Kurama. I can't believe even you can become motherly. Nay-san. Hey. The vixen chuckled. Even I can't believe it myself either. Mizuki was smirking. Right after he finished this annoyance of an academy teacher, he would go find the demon brat, take the forbidden scroll from him and bring him together with it to Orochimaru-sama. Then he would become a sound ninja and gain the power and fame he couldn't get being a mere teacher in Konoha. His train of thought was interrupted rudely when a foot landed on his face, sending him crashing into a tree nearby. I'll kill you for hurting Iruka-sensei. Multi-shadow clone jutsu. Mizuki's eyes widened in horror when the forest was filled literally with thousands of Na. Now ready to die, bastard. The army of Na grinned wickedly while cracking their knuckles. Mizuki gulped. I'm screwed. Am I? Yes. The whole army echoed before pummeling the poor traitor to the ground. Iruka was appalled seeing Naruto performed a forbidden jutsu in such a large scale. Not only that, the boy didn't even show any sign of fatigue after releasing the jutsu. And he defeated a Tunin-level shinobi just by himself. He smiled weakly. You have really become strong, Naruto. You might even surpass the third. No. All the past Hoagages someday. He guess I might have overdone it a bit. Na grinned sheepishly while dragging a mess of flesh and bones called Mizuki along towards Iruka. The older man smiled and waved him. Leave that Na. Come here and close your eyes. This was it. This was the time. Na could not ever forget this, even until the last day of his life. Congratulations, Na. You're officially a genin of Konohagakure. Once again, in 2 days, or who knows how many days had passed, Na began to cry his heart out. This time on the chest of the older man. Wow, this photo was quite good. Actually, I almost didn't recognize you in that new outfit. Hey, I had to retake it a few times. GG. Na answered the old Hokage with a foxy grin. He was standing in Konoha Shinobi registration room with Hirozen Serbi, the third Hokage, and his secretary after taking the photos for his ID registration. The old man was smiling at him while stamping the document which contained his CV in the photo. See, Naruto, I told you changing your clothes would be a good thing for you. Yeah, I know, but I still don't like very much. It doesn't have much orange on it, Ma-chan. His face twisted oddly when the two-tailed cat blew a raspberry at him in his mind. His new attire included a dark blue pair of trousers with orange flamel-like stripes at the tip of the cuffs, a pair of fingerless gloves together with 2 medium-sized Sant L bangles, and a black sleeveless shirt which hugged tightly around his chest and torso, showing off his rather well-built body. His headband was tied firmly on his forehead. Na didn't notice it, but all the training he had done in the past actually did make his body a sight of attraction to any Earls who saw it, which was none because he always hid it under the bizarre orange jumpsuit. That explains why only the Hyuga girl showed interest in you. X-ray eyes and everything. Or, shut up. It's all thanks to Matabi when he first figured out the way to make the beasts appeared out of his body TW. Oh, days ago. You know what? This is kind of boring for you guys, right? My imagination was not quite good. Anyway, Naruto said while standing together with Kurama in his new mindscape. The dark and dirty sewer. Is my mind really that dirty? Was gone, replaced by an endless lushful green meadow with a river running across, a range of mountains at the horizon, blue sky with the sun shining brightly, and standing in the middle was a soccer, a tree which was as big as the Hokage monument. Kurama sighed. This is quite all right. It's much better than staying in that sewer. You know, never before have I got a gentry who bothered to do this for me. I appreciate it. She scratched the seal on her neck, which now formed a leather collar with the kanji of seal written on it, although it might be better if this was a necklace or something. Na looked at the vixen and smiled. After receiving her yin half back from his father, the fox seemed to mellow out quite a lot. Well, but I don't want to leave you guys in here all the time. He insisted, then pouted. If only I could do something to let you guys out there for a while. I think you can, Oni-chan. The two turned back to see Psycho standing well crawling. Whatever. Behind them, the slug seemed to blush a bit when Kurama and Naruto's eyes stared at her. When I was with Udakata NC-han, he used this jutsu to bring me out there for a walk sometimes. Really? But do you know how to do it, Psycho? Well, he just crossed his fingers and my soul and some of my chakra were pulled out and I'm outside. Cross fingers. Where have I heard it before? Naruto's eyes suddenly widened in realization. It is the shadow clone jutsu. But his eyes squinted. How can the shadow clone jutsu get you out? Because the shadow clone contains a part of its creator's soul when it is created. Na jumped. He didn't realize Kokuo standing next to him since who knew. You see, Kokuo explained, unlike a normal clone jutsu, a shinobi cannot perform tangible clone jutsu without some kind of blueprint and catalyst as a base. In the shadow clone's case, a part of your own soul is both the blueprint and the catalyst. That part of your soul stays in the clone as it exists and returns to you when the clone disappears. That's the reason why the clone has a personality which is yours, takes the form of yourself and returns its memories and experiences to you when it disperses. Therefore, instead of your soul, if you use another soul and chakra to perform the technique, such as ours, you will be able to send us out as shadow clones, and it takes whatever forms we want it to be. He stopped, seeing the long face of Na. You didn't understand anything, did you? Na nodded dumbly. The five-tailed horse face popped. Next time, try to simplify your speech. Kurama chimed in. Na cannot understand anything longer than 50 words. Na pouted. That's Samin. Tailed beast shadow clone jutsu. Smoke filled the entire room, then dispersed, revealing 9 figures standing in front of Na. But they were not the tailed beasts. At least not anymore. Instead, there were 5 girls and 4 guys, and they looked definitely human to Naruto. Isabu, Chom, and Matabi simply chose a form that looked similar to their ex-Jinchuriki, albeit with some distinctive features. Isabu's eyes, instead of a blank purple like Yagura's, were brown and spirited. His gray hair was spiky, similar to the head of his beast form, and there was no scar on his face. Shome's hair, instead of mint green like Fu's, had a brilliant saffron shade with some red streak and a ponytail. And Matabi looked like a twin of Yugo, except for her bright blue hair and a rounder chin. However, Naruto almost face-palmed when he saw the other tailed beasts in their human forms. Shukaku took the form of a teenage girl with tomboyish sandy hair tied into a ponytail on the back of her head. She wore a sleeveless white top which looked suspiciously like a sport bra, showing off her bare midriff and navel, and a very provoking pair of jeans which couldn't hide anything, just enough to cup her round and not make it look like a pair of panties. But with her rather flat chest, the cute big yellow eyes, and the constant scowl on her face, which looked suspiciously like a pout, she looked just like a little girl who was trying in vain to become. Son Goku's form looked like it was ripped off from a certain shonen martial art manga. His hair had the same shade of red as his fur in beast form, but so spiky it seemed to be at the level of impossible. His body was tall and muscular, and he wore a sleeveless orange and blue set of martial art gi, showing off his well-built arms with a blue belt and a pair of boots. But the weirdest thing in his body was a tail behind his butt instead of 4, which wrapped around his waist like a furry belt. Kokuo's was a middle-aged man with white short hair spiked at the back, similar to his horns in his beast form. His outfit was simple, A gray jacket and a pair of khaki trousers together with a pair of sandals which looked kind of weird for a know-it-all like him. The truth was Narut couldn't look at him without imagining him in a blue suit with a red tie on his neck. Psycho appeared in the form of a young girl. Being a slug in beast form, she let her snowy white grounding long hair drop down her forehead as a straight bang, partly hiding her ruby red eyes from view. Her white dress and purple long-sleeved shirt made her already pale skin even paler. She exuded a regal and ladylike aura. It's cute, but somewhat scary. It's just like she was an 18-year-old woman stuffed into the body of a child, and she called him On-chan. Na almost shuddered at the thought. Guy surprisingly was the most normal. He became a tan and bald man with a black short beard that screamed badass and a muscular body that could not be mistaken from a professional wrestling champion. He wore a black sleeveless tight shirt and a pair of black jeans with a pair of sunglasses. On his right arm, extended from his shoulder, was a strange tattoo that looked like a complex ceiling array of some sort. Whether that or maybe it's just for decoration, Narut didn't know. Finally, Kurama adorned the form of a beautiful woman with short pink hair tied into a big ponytail by a blue ribbon behind her head. She wore a sleeve-detached blue and black traditional yukata-like dress with no neck and only two pieces of blue cloth covering her front and behind, revealing her white thighs and her rather bountiful cleavage. Her long smooth legs were hidden under a pair of long blue stockings, and a pair of orange fox ears and a fluffy tail sprouted out of her head and butt. Note to self, Narut thought. Half of the tailed beasts are otaku freaks. Wow, it worked better than I thought, Kurama said, rubbing her newly acquired D-cup, giving poor Isabu a nosebleed and a slap on the back of his head by Matabi. So cute. Shome squealed like a fangirl and squeezed Kurama in a crushing glump, making the fox girl flailing her arms hysterically. I can't breathe. Yeah, that's cute. Matabi sighed, reaching out her hand to pry Kurama out of Chom's crushing grip. But you can't go outside looking like this, Na-san. But this looks good on me, Kurama protested. Yeah, but the ears and tail, the catgirl pointed out while face palming. Kurama pouted, making Narut shuddered, snapped her fingers, and the fox ears and tail disappeared. By the way, Narutkan, Matabi continued. I won't let you go anywhere with those silly orange clothes on your body. She wagged a finger at him while her other hand planted firmly on her hip. Na pouted, but I like orange. That will have to change, too. I'll not allow my Jinchuriki to wear such hideous clothes as long as I'm here. The cat turned human, glared at him, not noticing Goku, shouting, hey, don't diss the orange at her back. Well, too bad. Na shrugged. It's not like I have any other clothes anyway. Matabi's eyes gleamed dangerously. Na suddenly felt scared. He noticed a similar gleam in Shukakis, Kurama's, Chom's, and Psycho's eyes. What? And that's the reason why Na was standing in front of the third Hokage right now, wearing new outfits that made him almost unrecognizable in the eyes of people who used to know him. He could swear he heard Gamma-chan in his pocket crying because of her emptiness. The first time Narut saw Serbi, he had to do his best to refrain himself from jumping him and giving him a bone-crushing hug. The man was like a real grandfather to him. He had been the only person in the village besides Aruka-sensei Tuki and Ayami who hadn't thought of him as a demon and a failure when he was young. And he was the first one to die protecting the village in Naruto's life. The last time Narut saw him, the old Hokage was a corpse revived by Orochimaru, and he had to watch his soul being ripped off his body right in front of him without being able to do anything to help. Despite being able to restrain his body, he couldn't help shedding a drop of tears. Here, Na, your registration is completed. Remember to go to your classroom at 8 a.m. tomorrow to hear your team selection. All right. The Hokage gave Na his stamped registration with a smile. He grinned back and nodded. Speaking of team selection, it should be right. Old man, fight me. The Hokage seat is mine today. Now, Konohamaru jumped into the room, shuriken on his hand, and tripped on his scarf. Just like old time, Na rolled his eyes. Ow. That hurt. Konohamaru wailed while rubbing his bruised forehead. Then he noticed Na. Hey, you tripped me, didn't you? Naruto's left eyebrow twitched. You tripped on your own, idiot. He dead panted. Hey, no one talked to me like that. With that, Konohamaru jumped at Na, intending to punch him in the face. But Na easily sidestepped the boy, then grabbed his outstretched arm and twisted it to his back. Right on cue, the teacher of Konohamaru, Ebisu, jumped into the room. Hey, let go of him, brat. He is Hokage-sama's grandson. Konohamaru glared at Na. Now that he knows who I am, he can't do anything to me, peef. He's just the same as everyone. But that only made Naruto's eyebrow twitch harder. You think I give a damn? Crunch. Even after all those years, he still found the whole Hokage-sama's grandson thing annoying. Naruto held out his right hand and tried to make a ringan. It's worth mentioning that before the Fourth Shinobi World War, he had finally managed to complete the jutsu, and now he could do it with one hand, just like Jiraiya and his father. The chakra spun around his palm, focused, and exploded on his face. Aarr Na screamed when his body was thrown away like a rag doll and slammed into a tree nearby. Damn it, what's happening? This is going to be a problem. Hey Na, try to make it with a shadow clone like you used to do before. From inside his head, Kurama suggested worriedly. Na nodded and made a shadow clone. He started to focus his chakra into his palm while the clone spun it. It exploded even more violently, sending him and the clone crashing into the tree again. Oh dear, Kurama, what's happening to me? Na asked in panic. I'm sorry, Na. Your chakra control was completely ruined. The vixen sighed and Naruto's face twisted into a horror gape. What? How? Why? He screamed to the sky, scaring a flock of pigeons hiding in a bush nearby and a certain little boy who was hiding behind a large tree. I'm not here. Crap. I said that out loud, didn't I? The vixen in his head rolled her eyes and started to explain. Na, you remember that when you graduated, your chakra control was abysmal, right? Well, I think when we're thrown back to the past, your body was also reverted back to that state. Plus, she added, after a brief thought, now you contain not only me, but all 9 of us tailed beasts. That means your reserves should be, say, at least 9 times larger than you had in the well, our past. Truth is, I'm surprised that your body didn't explode because of chakra overload. Must be an Uzumaki thing, I guess, Kokuo suggested. I heard that the Uzumaki clan was famous for their incredible stamina and life force. Besides, it's not like no one has ever contained all of us before. Did you forget Otis-san? But that means all my skills are down the toilet. Na wailed mentally. And the bell test of Kakashi-sensei is in 2 days. What do I do? Anime tears started to pour out of his eyes like 2 small streams. Then start training, you idiot. Kurama chided him. Don't you realize that you're wasting your time crying? Oh. And someone has been following you for almost an hour. Ah. I forgot. Stop hiding and come out here, Konohamaru. From behind the great tree, the grandson of the third peeked out as expecting of my boss. You noticed me right away, he exclaimed, jumping out of his hiding spot. What are you doing here, Konohamaru? Na asked. Didn't you go back with that Ebisu guy? Nah, he sucked. You're way cooler than him, boss. Konohamaru shook his head. Hey boss, please teach me that sexy jutsu you used to defeat the old man. Na had heard this request before. This time, he couldn't help but broke into laughter. Why do you want to learn it? It's just a joke, you know. Honestly, I didn't think the old man was such a pervert, Naruto said after finally calming himself down. It doesn't matter. I need to learn it to defeat him, Konohamaru shouted. Then I'll become Hokage. If I can do that, everyone will acknowledge me. The boy's rant was stopped by Naruto's fingers poking his forehead. Idiot. If being Hokage was that easy, everyone would be Hokage. The Hokage had only belongs to the best shinobi. You don't become Hokage for people to acknowledge you. You become Hokage because people acknowledge you. So he flashed a smile which looked disturbingly similar to that of a certain green beast of Konoha. Work hard and gain everyone's respect first. But that will take too long. Konohamaru protested. Besides, Ebisu-sensei didn't teach me anything good. Then you can train with me. Na grinned. You think there is a shortcut to becoming Hokage? If you want to become one, you have to train your out just like me. Now, let's get to training. We don't have all day. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Konohamaru's eyes widened when a dozen of Naruto's appeared on the training field. Then he grinned. Yash. I'm not going to lose to you, boss. Hey, boss. I finally made it to the branch. He damn it. Even Konohamaru is better than me now. Bam. Crash. Crash. Damn. I still can't get it. Na climbed out of the hole he had made when drilling his face on the dirt after blasting off his tree again. Konohamaru, who was now already on a pretty high branch, laughed. Haha, I beat you, boss. Just you wait, brat. Na yelled back. I'll catch up to you right now. Unknown to the two spirited boys, two pairs of eyes were watching them from afar at the other side of the training ground. Wah wah wah. That's Ebisu, who was gaping like an idiot as Naruto was teaching Konohamaru better than he could ever did. It's okay Ebisu, even I can't believe it either. And that's the third Hokage who was patting the poor Special Jun's shoulder while frowning. There is really something very wrong with Naruto today. Hey, is that Na? No way. When did he become so hot? He looks even better than Sasuke Peef. There's no way he could be cooler than Sasuke, right? Naruto groaned and slammed his head on the table. It's all your fault, Ma-chan. Now I'm going to have fangirls. You have just overestimated yourself there, dude. Guy chuckled. Fangirls. Na could feel Isabu shudder in his mind. They're a nightmare. Remind me of the time Yagura became Mizukage. What? Yagura had fangirls. Duh. You think he's always the homicidal maniac who wants to destroy bloodlines. Before Matera got a grip on him, he was quite a popular boy. Genius, handsome, just like the duck ass over there. Na was in his classroom waiting for the team assignment. It had been too long since he last sat in this room. Everything was still the same from the board, the tables to his classmates. This time, he carefully chose a seat far away from Sasuke. He did not want to experience his first kiss once more. But you liked it. Kurama sang inside his head. Na gagged mentally. UK. That's disgusting. Kurama, I told you to never remind me of that again. But there was no way his tenants would leave him alone with that. Ooh, I almost forgot about this. Is he a good kisser? Shomei chimed in, obviously interested, much to Naruto's horror. Oh. You don't even know anything. Kurama grinned evilly. Damn you, Kurama, Naruto shouted in his mind while his face wrinkled. In the real world, the 5 girls in his head giggled. Sigh. Girls are so troublesome. Goku drawled and then yelled as Matabi bonked him on his head. Speaking of Sasuke, the boy was sitting at the desk 5 row down from his in his emo mode, as Naruto preferred to call. Looking at him, Naruto's stomach felt twisted up. The images of Sasuke's defect, the battle at the Valley of the End, their meeting at Orochimaru's hideout, the battle at the Samurai Bridge, Sasuke sacrificing himself to protect him from Moa. Everything rushed back into his head like a tsunami, and he had to try his best to stop himself from collapse. Sing and bawling like a baby again. This time, I won't let that happen. Believe it. Sasuke seemed to notice Na staring at him. He scoffed and turned away. The mood was ruined immediately. HMPH. Ungrateful bastard. Naruto huffed in his mind, which earned a giggle from the girls inside his head. Loud stomping noises started to rise from the corridor outside. It must be Sakura and Ino battling for the seat next to Sasuke again. 3, 2, 1 crash. And there they are. Ha! I win. Pig. Sakura declared triumphantly, laughing at Ino, who was gasping for breath next to her. Both their hair were tatted and their clothes were messed up. Maybe because of the catfight when they were in the corridor. But when Sakura saw Sasuke, her hair and clothes went back to their perfect condition in a blink, and she screamed like a banshee. And how did she do that again? Who knows? Maybe some kind of genjutsu or even magic. Well, at least this time he didn't receive any of Sakura's monstrous punches or any kiss from Sasuke. First of all, I want to congratulate you all for passing the graduation exam. Or started, from now on, all of you are shinobi of the Hidden Leaves village. A loud round of applause rose up from the students. However, Aruruka continued, you are still only genin, which is the lowest class of shinobi in the village. You have to perform duties for the village, gather experiences and skills in order to be promoted to higher ranks. So today, you will be assigned into 3-man teams, and each team will have a Junin sensei. You will follow that sensei's instructions as you complete the missions you were assigned. And now I will announce the members of each team. Now, Team 1. But Naruto didn't hear Aruka anymore. His eyes were sweeping around, catching the image of all his old friends, the Rookie 9. The ones who had always fought beside him, the ones who had offered their own lives to protect him. The ones whom he always considered his precious people, and the ones he had failed to protect. Sakura and Ino were still annoying. Shikamaru was still lazy. Shoji was still munching constantly on his chips. Ka was still loud. Shino was still calm and stoic. And Hinata, well, still shy as always. They're all just like he could remember, as if it was just yesterday when they were all together, working together on rebuilding the village, fighting besides each other against Obito and Moa. Team 7, Naruto Uzumaki, Sakura, Haruno, and Sasaki Uchiha. The Jon and Sensei is Kakashi Hatake. Team 8, Hawa, suddenly snapped out of his trance. Naruto looked around in confusion. Did you say something? Oh, at the memorial stone in Training Ground 7, a certain silver-haired masked Jonin sneezed violently. Oh, or face faltered. He chose to ignore it and repeated. I said nah, you're together with Sasaki and Sakura, and your Jon and Sensei is Kakashi Hatake. Now, as I was saying before being interrupted by Naruto, he continued. Team 8 consists of Hinata Hyuga, Ka Inuzuka, and Shino Aram. And their Jon and Sensei is Kuranayuhi. Team 9. He flipped the list over and over. Now, where the hell is Team 9 in here? Must be a mistake in numbering. Anyway, Team 10 consists of Shikamaru, Nara, Choji, Akamaiki, and Enino Yamanaka. Jon and Sensei, Asuma, Surbi. He closed his list and smiled. That's all. Once more, congratulations on becoming Genin everyone. Now, why don't you take a lunch break before meeting your Jon and Sensei? Dismiss. Hey, Sasaki, Sakura, want to have lunch with me? Na said when everyone started to go out for lunch. Sasaki just head and turned away. Sakura gagged in disgust and ran after Sasuke, leaving the poor Naruto alone in the classroom. Well, at least you did try. Kurama pacified the boy awkwardly when his head slumped in disappointment. That, __, how dare she doing that to Narukan? Chom exclaimed angrily, that no good, selfish barbarian Uchiha loving, __, when I get my hand on her, it's alright, Chom-chan. I know she didn't mean it mostly. Well, I'll just eat with you guys instead. Want to try some Ikyaku ramen? Na grinned, receiving a nod of approval from everyone in his head. But right before he could step out of the classroom, a masked and Shunshin right in front of him and grabbed his hand. Genin Uzumaki, the Hokage wants you in his office immediately. I'm instructed to escort you to him. Na was confused. What did Gigi want to do with him at this time? Naruto Uzumaki has arrived. Hokage-sama. Good job, number. Let him in, said Anu opened the door and pushed Naruto into the room. I can walk by myself. You know, he glared back. The Anbu member just stood there quietly, ignoring Naruto's protest. Surbi cleared his throat. Na turned back. Ah, Gigi. He smiled. What do you want from me? His voice trailed off when he saw two other people in the room. Shikaku Na and Inanoi Yamanaka. Sit, Naruto. The voice of the Hokage seemed harder than usual. What's wrong, Gigi? Did I do something wrong? Naruto asked worriedly, his eyes darting across Shikaku and Inoiki. And what are Shikaku-san and Inuichi-san doing here? Oh god, don't tell me you're going to throw me into jail. That painting in the Hokage monument is just a joke. I swear. He finished in panic. The Hokage sighed and rubbed his nose bridge. It's nothing like that. I just want to talk to you about something, Na. Then his voice hardened again. Naruto, tell me the truth. What happened to you the last few days? Ha, there's nothing wrong with me. Naruto lied nervously, hoping the Hokage would catch it. He didn't. Na, I'm the one who had been taking care of you for 10 years. I know your personality and your abilities just like my own hands. The professor narrowed his eyes. The fact that you knew and completed the tree climbing exercise, an exercise meant for a graduated genin, proves that there is something fishy going on. Now tell me, Na, or I'm afraid I have to force it out of you. I think you should tell them, Na. Ha, Kurama, are you sure? Yeah, I didn't want anyone to know about this, but if we don't tell them now, I'm afraid they will gut you right in place. Just tell them not to mention it to anyone else. Kurama said, thinking about Danzo. I don't think other people would take it so good. At least I can feel these guys are trustworthy. Okay. Naruto sighed in defeat. I'll tell you, but first, Gigi, can you tell everyone in this room to get out and seal it? Oh. Shikaku-san and Inanoi-san can, he added when the two men started to protest. The Hokage hesitated but finally nodded. 3 Anbu appeared from their hiding spots and flickered away. After all Anbu were removed from their position, Ceratob's hands weaved through hand seals and a barrier was erected, isolating the room from the world outside. It's done now. Nah, tell us. Well, it might sound absurd, but Na took a deep breath. I'm from the future. That was the most absurd story I've ever heard in my life. I know, Gigi. Even I couldn't believe it myself when I first heard it. After Naruto finished his story, the eyebrows of the 3 older men in the room were twitching like crazy. So, let's recap. Enaki asked with a strained voice. You fought a man assumed to be Moiha, got captured, having the Kaiba extracted from your body, and then somehow all 9-tailed beasts escaped from their container, squeezed themselves into your body, and pushed you back to the past. He is Mochiha. But yeah, that's basically the story. Na answered with a nod. And you expect us to believe that, the older blonde man snapped at Na. Moiha has been dead for half a century. He was killed by the first Hokage in the battle at the Valley of the End. And there is no way a human body can handle the chakra of all 9-tailed beasts. And time travel. Oh. Please. Like that can ever happen. But I'm telling the truth. Why don't you guys believe me? Na snapped back. His voice was full of irritation. Well, even to me, that story was too unbelievable to be the truth. Not helping Kurama. Actually, there is a simple way to confirm his identity. All 3 other males turned to Shikaku. Well, Hokage-sama, you are the one who is closest to Na since he was born, right? So, just ask him something only you and Naruto know about. If he can answer it right, then he is the real Na. The pineapple head man shrugged lazily. Silence. Tell me again, how the heck didn't I think of something like that? Because it's such a drag. The Na man shrugged again. Okay, Na, the old Hokage asked after a sheepish moment. What did I give you in your 10th birthday? What did you give me? Na squinted his eyes, trying to remember. Oh. I know. That's GMAC-chan. I have her right here. He reached down his weapon pouch and pulled out the toad-shaped wallet. Oh. And you also gave me exactly 365 free coupons for Ichiraku ramen. Free ramen for a year. Serbi face palmed. Yes. He is Na. Only Na could remember the amount of ramen coupons he spends each year. But that still doesn't prove what he said was right. Enaki protested. Then insisted. I request a memory check on him. I don't think that's a good idea. Wait, Naruto, just let him do it. The voice of Chom suddenly rose in Naruto's head. What are you trying to do? Na asked back wearily. There was obviously something not right here. Oh. You'll see. The beetle chuckled evilly. A chill started to creep on Naruto's spine. You're not going to harm him, are you? He's my friend's dad. I'll not allow you guys to harm him. Na yelled in his mind in panic. Oh. Please. We're not going to do anything harmful to him. She snorted back to him. Permanently. I heard that, but Na couldn't say anything more because Inoiki had already had his hand over his head. After a minute, the man let out a girlish scream and slumped to the ground. All the other men in the room suddenly cringed and felt an intense urge to cover their crotch. A roar of laughter echoed through Naruto's head. What have you guys done to him? Na mentally screamed in horror. Oh. Nothing. Shukaku answered between snickers. Just gave him the best wedgie I've ever done. Another roar of laughters. You guys are so cruel. He's telling the truth, Enanoi gasped out, his voice full of pain and humiliation. Oh. So it is true that you are now the gentry of all 9-tailed beasts, Hana? Serbi asked when Enanoi finally managed to stand up while mumbling about something suspiciously sounding like cursed bully demons. I assume you can fully control them, right? Well, yeah, but I won't use the word control. Gigi, they were my friends, my partners, and I will never force them to give me their power against their wills. Na chuckled. Naruto, we love you. The cringing returned with full force. This is a very crucial matter, Na. The old Hokage said in a very serious tone. You do understand that if this piece of information leaks out, there will be wars, don't you? Na nodded. Of course, I do, Gigi. That's why I asked you to kick everyone out and seal up the room. But why did you let us know? Me and Anoiki. I mean, it's not like we have any close relationship with you before, Shikaku suddenly asked. Well, Naruto scratched his head. It's because I think you two are trustworthy, being the Hoage's tactical advisors and everything. Even Keilu thought so. Besides, if you aren't here, then how can I prove to Gigi that I'm telling the truth? Still, the old Hoage's voice rose again. To prevent anything that could happen, I hereby declare everything mentioned in this room today shall be treated as an X-ranked secret, and everyone who hears about it, except for ones in this room today, shall be executed on the spot. Am I making myself clear? All three other people looked at each other and gulped. This is so troublesome, Shikaku groaned. All right, spill it. What happened to you today, Naruto? Said boy snapped one eye open from his meditation and glared at Sakura in annoyance. What do you mean? What happened to me, Sakura? You know what I'm saying. The girl screeched. What's that with all the new clothes and acting cool and everything? Oh. Na quirked an eyebrow. Then I don't have the right to change my clothes or acting cool. Well, I didn't say that, Sakura hesitated, taken aback by Naruto's retort. Listen up, Sakura. Na cut her short in a sharp tone. I'm not the same Na you used to know. I'm sick of always being treated as a failure, a dead last, the laughingstick of everyone. Sure, I might be bad at school, all right, but the world out there isn't the same as what we learned in school. We are shinobi now. Our works include stealing, killing, or even fighting to the death. You should also change yourself as well, because when we are at the war zone, no one has the time to protect you. Sakura was stunned beyond belief. Since when had Na become so serious? She wanted to retort, but words seemed to choke themselves in her throat. Is what he said true? Being a shinobi is that dangerous? Na couldn't be serious, could he? HMPH. Even if there are dangers, Sasukean will protect us. Sha-ina Sakura screamed inside her head. Na stood up and kicked the door open. Wait, where are you going? Sakura asked. Training. If this Kakashi is anything like I knew about him, then he's going to be late for at least 2 more hours. Na answered nonchalantly. Want to join me? Sakura Sasake HN was the answer. Na shrugged. Suit yourself. Wow. Talk about harsh. Matabi commented when they were out of the classroom. Actually, I think a talk like that is good for her. Guy pondered. She is nothing like the Sakura I knew in our time. If this is really how she is, I wonder how she could become such a good kunoichi. Well, she did train a lot during the time I was gone training with Erosen. To be fair, Naruto admitted. Then he changed the topic. Say, any one of you want to help me training? I could appreciate some help in getting my old skills back with pleasure. The tailed beasts grinned inside his head. Kakashi poked his head into the room only to meet with 2 annoyed faces looking back at him. I suppose you are Team 7, right? But why are there only 2 of you? Sakura shrugged. Na said he had gone training, but I bet he went to find somewhere to sleep. Kakashi raised an eyebrow. That's quite unexpected. Anyway, meet me at the rooftop in 5 minutes. Then he puffed away. When they arrived at the rooftop, they found a horrifying scene. Almost all the tiles of the rooftop were cracked or shattered to pieces. One of the water tanks was dented on a side. And lying in the middle of the destroyed roof was Naruto and 2 of his shadow clones with their faces full of bruises. Wow, so he wasn't kidding when he said he would go training. Sakura muttered. Kakashi found the scene of destruction in front of him amusing. You are Na, right? Training is good, but next time you should do it in the training ground. You do realize that you have to pay for this damage, do you? Naruto lifted his head up when his 2 shadow clones puffed out of existence. Ow. My head. Guess I overdid it a little bit. Oh. You must be Kakashi-sensei, right? The Cyclops gave him an eye smile. Yep. Now, let's get to the introduction part. Any one of you want to go first? Introduction. What do you mean? Sakura asked, and everyone on the rooftop, including the 9-tailed beasts, had to refrain from rolling their eyes. This is your kunoichi of the year? Matabi asked in disbelief. Trust me, she will be much worse. Kurama deadpanned. Hey, that's kind of mean, Naruto defended her. All the beasts snorted. Well, your name, your likes, dislikes, Your dreams for the future and things like that, Kakashi explained. Why don't you go first, sensei? You look kind of suspicious, said Sakura wearily. About me, huh? Kakashi pondered for a while. Well, my name is Kakashi Hatake. I have no desire to tell you my likes and dislikes. My dreams, and I have lots of hobbies. Yeah. Very helpful, sensei. Naruto snarked. Sakura and Sasake nodded in agreement. Oh. Then how about you going next, Blondie? The Jonin quirked his visible eyebrow. Sure. Whatever. Naruto shrugged. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like ramen, my friends, and the people who cares about me. I dislike liars, traitors, and people who want to use my friends to gain power. My dream is to become stronger to protect my friends and create a peaceful world. Ah. You're so sweet, Narukan. Na cringed. Seriously, you have to stop that, Chan. It's creepy. Ah. The beetle pouted. Kakashi's eyes widened a bit. This boy was nothing like the Naruto he had known during his time in Anbu. That Naruto was loud, annoying, a knucklehead who always wanted people to notice him. This one was calm and collected. He wondered what could have changed the boys so much. And he mentioned his friends. Kakashi didn't know who they were, but he had a disturbing feeling about that word. He had to mention it to the Hokage some days. You next, Broody. He looked at Sasake. The Uchiha glared back at him. My name is Sasake Uchiha. I hate lots of things. I don't like anything. My ambition is to resurrect my clan and to kill a certain man. I don't like him. Oni-chan, Psycho said quietly. No wonder he is such an emo. Obsession with revenge cannot be good for one's health. Matabe remarked. Yeah. Wondered if this time I can find some way to talk him out of it. As I thought, an avenger. Kakashi narrowed his eyes. This is going to be trouble if he keeps that attitude. Your turn, Pinky. My name is Haruno Sakura. The thing I like is, she glanced at Sasake and squeed. My dream for the future. She giggled while blushing. My hobby is, she winked at Sasake. Who? Hand. What I hate is Na. She finished in a disgusted voice. Ah. I love you too, Sakura-chan. Naruto said sarcastically, which earned him another gag of disgust from Sakura. So basically, she liked Sasake. Her dream for the future is to get into his pants, and her hobby is stalking him. Kakashi thought. Girls these days are more interested in love than in enjutsu. Very well. So, we all know each other now. Kakashi said. All three genin rolled their eyes. Tomorrow, we'll start with our shinobi duties. But first, we are going to do something with just the four of us. A survival training. This is it. The bell test. Naruto's mind wandered back to the time he got the test before. But why is our first duty a training, sensei? We've had enough training at the academy. Sakura protested. Even Sasake snorted in disapproval. Because this training is nothing like what you've ever done before. Kakashi answered. His visible eye seemed to drill into the three gens' heads. They gulped. Yes. Even Na. This survival training is also a test to select the ones who are truly suitable of becoming genin. Kakashi continued. Of the 27 graduated candidates, only 9 shall be chosen to become genin, and the rest shall be sent back to the academy. This training is a very difficult exam with a failure rate of over 66%. Sokka appalled. Sasake didn't show any clear emotion, but beads of sweat could be seen clearly on his temples. Na, having known about this before, just sat there in silence. The details are on this paper. Kakashi pulled some leaflets out of his shuriken pouch and gave the three genin. Anyway, we'll start at 6 o'clock tomorrow at training ground 7. And don't eat breakfast. You'll just throw up. Then he flickered away, leaving the three genin on the roof. So, tomorrow is the bell test. This time, I'll show Kakashi sensei I'm not a useless dead last anymore. Yeah, you will. But what are you going to do with the mess you made here? Na looked at the almost destroyed rooftop and groaned. Na arrived at training ground 7 at 8 only to find Sakura and Sasake, whose faces looked like zombies, glaring at him. Where the heck have you been, you idiot? Sakura growled. Ikyaku's, of course, Naruto answered. You don't expect me to go to war with an empty stomach, do you? Kakashi sensei told us not to have breakfast. She screeched. And we're not going to war. This is just a training session. Well, The no breakfast part was not mentioned in the leaflet he gave us, right? Na shrugged. Besides, he said this training was a test. I don't know about you, but I need my body at the top level before taking any test. Hearing that, Sakura didn't ask any more. She just sat down and rubbed her growling stomach, trying her best to calm it down. Here, she raised her head and widened her eyes when she saw a meat bun in front of her face. Eat up. I don't have much money, so I could only buy these. It's not much, but still better than an empty stomach, right? Na grinned while throwing another one to Sasaki. You didn't have breakfast, too, did you? Eat up. Sasaki scowled. I don't need your pity. Oh. Come on. This is not the time for empty pride. Naruto snorted. If Kakashi-sensei is anything like I've heard about him, then we must throw everything we have at him if we want to have a chance against him. Those words finally got Sasuke's attention. What do you know about him? He demanded. Well, Naruto started. Kakashi-sensei was well known all over the elemental countries as Kakashi of the Sharingan. Due to the fact that he has a Sharingan hidden under his hit, Sasuke's body stiffened against this information and he had used it to copy over 1,000 jutsu of his ene. Mise. He is one of the very famous shinobi who brought victory to the Leaf in the Third Great Shinobi World War together with the fourth Hokage himself. No way. Sakura gasped. Our sensei is that strong. But how did he have the sharing? He's not an Uchiha. Sasaki questioned. Juno. Na shrugged. He felt that it's better not to tell Sasaki about Obito yet, but we can already tell that Kakashi-sensei is not someone we can afford to underestimate. Sasaki didn't say anything for a while. Then he grabbed the bun and devoured it in one gulp. Sorry guys, I got lost on the road of life. Na deadpanned when his teacher arrived at the training ground at 9 o'clock. You know, that was the lamest excuse I've ever heard in my life, sensei. And by that he meant still the lamest excuse. Is that so? Kakashi raised his visible eyebrow. Then I promise next time you won't hear it anymore. You're not going to be late again. Sakura asked hopefully. No, I'll make a different excuse. The Cyclops Eye smiled. The three genin groaned. You have until noon to take these bells from me. Kakashi started while pulling out an alarm clock and two small bells. Those who cannot get a bell by noon get no lunch and will be tied to one of those stumps while I and your teammates eat right in front of you. And the one who doesn't have a bell fails and will be sent back to the academy. But sensei, in the pamphlet you said that we're allowed to use weapons. Isn't that dangerous? Sakura asked. Oh. You won't be able to touch me if you don't come at me with intent to kill. The Jonin waved her off. Now start when I say. With a flick of his hand, 5 shuriken flew from Naruto's place towards Kakashi. Then without any pause, Naruto pulled a kunai out from his shuriken pouch, only for his arm to be bent around, the point of the kani aimed at his neck. Hasty, eh? The voice of Kakashi rose behind him. I haven't said start yet. Too fast. Sasaki and Sakura couldn't help sharing the same thought. I can't even see him moving. Just like old time, Naruto grinned. You'd better look at your back, sensei. The tip of another kunai touched the back of Kakashi's flak jacket. You used the shuriken as a distraction, not only to pull out a kani, but also to create a shadow clone to ambush me, Kakashi said with an eye smile. Pretty clever, I must say. Well, then, now it's time to start. He burst into smoke, and the genin leapt away from the clearing. I don't understand what you're thinking anymore, Naruto. Oh. Chill out, Kurama. It's been a long time since I last challenged Kakashi-sensei. Besides, Sakura and Sasaki need a little time to figure out the meaning of the test, right? Then why don't you just tell them already? The vixen asked. Na grinned. Because it's no fun. Kurama face-pod. Hey Kakashi-sensei, I challenge you. Kakashi lifted his eye from his Ica paradise. Well, aren't you a little bit off? Na didn't say anything. He lowered his body into his taijutsu stance. Oh, flashback. Ow, how did you even do that? Na screamed, holding his bruised left eye after receiving a vicious punch from Goku. Your problem lies on your fighting stance. Na, the ape in his human form answered surprisingly calmly comparing to his usual loud voice. Your battle style is just like that of a brawler, only consists of attacking blindly while leaving you with a lot of dangerous openings and no way to defend yourself if your opponent counterattacks. But I've defeated many powerful enemies with that style. Na protested with a pout. And you were nearly dead in most of the cases, Kurama chided from inside his head. Do I need to list 'em out? Having your body impaled by hundreds of ice needles, letting a fourth of your tenketsu sealed, your heart being damaged to the point that even I and that Tsunade lady together almost failed to repair. All right, I get it. Na growled in frustration. So, what can I do now? It's not like I have the time to think of a new style. Goku scratched his cheek. I don't think I can teach you a completely new style in only one day, but I think you can try this. End flashback. Oh. With a kick to the ground, Naruto launched himself towards Kakashi like a bullet. He threw a flurry of punches and kicks at Kakashi, but the Jonin blocked every hit with only one hand. He was fast, but attacking recklessly like this won't do him any good. Damn it, Na thought when breaking away from Kakashi. He's too good. Remember Na, Kakashi was not a Jonin in name only. Kurama said, you're lucky he didn't just punch your head off. Goku dryly noted, right, attacking directly is out of the question. Time to try some new thing. He threw another quick punch at Kakashi's chest only for the Jonin to stop it with his empty hand easily. Is that all you got? How disappointing. Poor Kakashi. He didn't take his eye off his Ica paradise, so he couldn't expect Naruto to quickly grab hold of his wrist mid-punch. What the? With a loud cry, Naruto pulled the restrained arm towards him and elbowed Kakashi on the stomach. With his other hand, holding his precious Ica, Kakashi couldn't do anything to block the incoming attack in point-blank range. The hit almost knocked the air out of Kakashi's lungs. Hey, it worked. I told you. The sudden attack also proved to be quite a distraction as a shadow clone of Naruto rushed in from behind and tried to grab the bells on his belt. Damn. With a quick spin, Kakashi kicked the clone, making it dispersed and threw the real Naruto away a few feet. The genin landed on his feet and grinned. How's that, sensei? So shocked you cannot even speak a word. He turned my strong point into a weak point and exploited it so well he could land a hit on me while using it as a distraction. Kakashi thought, reckless, but quite effective. Na really is full of surprises. I'm surprised. I must admit, I've underestimated you, Kakashi said, snapping his book closed. It seems I can't keep reading Ica while fighting you. And he put the book back into his shuriken pouch. Finally decided to play seriously. Then let's see how good you really are, sensei. Kicking the ground again, Na once more closed the distance between them and launched another punch at Kakashi. The older man immediately caught it and also blocked the other punch aiming at him from the left. One trick won't work twice, Na. Oh yeah, then how about this? Locking Kakashi's hands with his own, Na focused chakra to his feet and released it, using the force to flip over Kakashi's head like jump. Ing from a spring. On the air, he spun and delivered a rolling kick to the Jonin's head. Still haven't quite got it yet, but this is enough. You're going down. Slam. The Kakashi in front of him exploded into splendor. What the substitution? Shinobi. Lesson number 1. Taijutsu. Na turned his head and saw Kakashi behind him, his eye gleaming. Hidden leaf secret. Taijutsu. 1,000 years of death. Being on the air, Na had no way to avoid the deadly fingers of the Cyclops aiming at his and was propelled into the stream nearby. Just like old time. DAMNEITT. And that's a lesson for you. Goku choked out while everyone in Naruto's head were busy laughing their asses off. Never use an airborne attack when you cannot make sure you get a hit. All those time and I still get struck by that stupid technique. Na growled. But I'm not done yet. 3 shuriken flew out of the water, aiming at Kakashi, but he only tilted his head lazily to the side, and the 3 throwing stars only struck the tree behind him. With a battle cry, Naruto burst out of the water. You think I'm out of trick yet? Think again. Na rushed towards his teacher and aimed a low sweep at his leg. Take this. I said it won't work. Kakashi chided him while jumping up to avoid the kick, but Na just smiled. Gotcha. Shadow clone jutsu. 2 clones appeared on the air. One launched a punch at Kakashi's midriff and the other aimed a kick at his head. Na smirked. On the air you cannot evade. I've learned that from you. I cannot evade, but I can strike back. Kakashi answered calmly, kicked the 2 clones away, and sent himself backward a bit. Unfortunately, he didn't see the faint smirk on Naruto's face. Kakashi was suddenly grabbed from behind by 3 pairs of arms. One grabbed his back, one restrained his arms, and one locked his legs. No way, Kakashi. Visible eye widened in horror. The shuriken from before, their shadow clones. The bells are mine, Naruto shouted triumphantly, leaping at the Jonin who was now bound helplessly to the ground by his 3 clones. Only to crash into a log. Proof of Kakashi's substitution. Oh man, substitution again. No fair. There was no sign of Kakashi on the clearing anymore. Sakura was speechless. No way. How can Naruto be so good? He almost got Kakashi-sensei. Looking for someone, Sakura. The girl screamed and jumped back when the voice of Kakashi rose next to her ears. Shinobi lesson number 2, Genjutsu. And the man faded away in a storm of cherry blossom petals. After a minute, Sakura's mouth foamed and she fainted. Okay, that was anticlimactic. Sasaki was angry. Nah, the loser, had fought Kakashi Hitaki, the Jonin sensei, the man who was known as Kakashi of the Sharingan, according to him, to a standstill. Somehow, that dead last even seemed to have forced the Jonin to run away. Since when had that loser become so strong? Then maybe that Kakashi might not even be as strong as Naruto had said. If that dead last could hold his own against the Jonin, there's no way himself, the rookie of the year, and Uchiha couldn't do it. He jumped down from the tree he was hiding, facing Kakashi on the clearing. So the mighty Uchiha finally came down to face me, Kakashi drawled. Such an honor. You're weak, Sasaki snidely remarked. Couldn't even beat a dead last like Nah. Oh. But can you do anything better than him? Kakashi smiled. The question seemed to touch Sasuke's ego. He snarled. I'm nothing like those losers. You can only say that after you get the bell, Kakashi said. The bells on his belt rang as if taunting Sasuke. Without another word, Sasaki sent 3 shuriken at Kakashi. And just like with Naruto, the Jonin easily sidestepped the projectile weapons. The shuriken flew past the Jonin, cutting the rope hidden behind him, and a bunch of knives were launched in the direction of the older man. Hidden trap. Good idea, but not enough. Kakashi jumped aside, and the knives lodged themselves on the bark of a tree behind him. Sasaki took the cue and jumped towards the retreating man and delivered a kick on Kakashi's head. The Jonin blocked the kick easily with his arm. You know, Na did try this and failed. Don't compare me to that dead last, Sasaki yelled. And using Kakashi's blocking arm as a mount, he spun and delivered an axe kick towards Kakashi's face upside down. The bells were right in front of him. He lashed out his hand, trying to grab them, only for Kakashi to grab his extending arm and throw him away like a rag doll. Sasuke's back slammed into a tree. He grunted in pain, struggling to get up. Damn it. It seems the last Uchiha is not as powerful as rumored. Kakashi taunted and Sasaki snapped, weaving his hands through familiar hand signs. He performed the jutsu the Uchiha clan was famous for. Fire style. Fireball jutsu. A huge ball of fire blasted out of his mouth, aiming at Kakashi, who seemed to be too shocked that a genin could perform such a chakra-wasting technique to avoid it. Sasaki smirked when the raging inferno engulfed the Jonin. The flame died down, leaving nothing. Not a charred corpse, not a burning flak jacket, not a Jonin rolling around in flame. Nothing. He's gone. But where? Shinobi. Lesson number 3. Enjutsu. Sasaki couldn't even turn his head around when a pair of hands grabbed his legs and pulled him underground. Well, the last really was head above the others, Kakashi said sarcastically, walking away. Damn it. The difference in power was too much. Sasaki gritted his teeth while glaring at the Jonin's back, which was getting farther and farther away. Hey, Sakura, wake up. Sakura groggy opened her eyes and saw Na kneeling right above her face. She screamed and punched the boy on the chest, making him stumble back a bit. Waha, what the hell did you do? You pervert, she demanded, her finger pointed shakily at Na, who was now wincing and rubbing his chest. Just want to wake you up, princess. There's only 1 hour left until the deadline. Sakura's eyes widened. 1 hour left. There's no way she could get a bell from Kakashi-sensei with only that amount of time. It meant she would be sent back to the academy and she wouldn't be with her Sasaki, anymore. Then what? What can I do? She stammered. Tears started welling up in the corner of her eyes. Well, think about it later. I have some suspicion but it will have to wait until we dig Sasaki up. I said, I don't need your pity. Sasaki scowled again when Sakura and Naruto finally dug him up from his burial hole. Will you just spare me your dramatic brooding, Sasaki? Na snapped. If you don't pull that huge stick out of your, it will someday get you killed. Maybe even before your so-called ambition comes true. It's not a so-called ambition. Sasaki protested angrily. Na ignored him. You said that you have some suspicion about the test, right, Na? Sakura asked. Since Na gave her the donut in the morning, she had felt a new strain of respect towards the blonde boy. Well, I don't know if it's true, but I suspect the true meaning of this test is not whether we get a bell or not, Naruto stated while scratching his cheek. Both Sakura and Sasuke's eyes narrowed. What do you mean? Kakashi-sensei said that we need to get the bells from him, asked Sakura. And how in the world can we do it? Na asked back. We're all newly graduated genin. Our skill and experience in combat is nothing compared to a jonin like him. This makes no sense at all. They'd never set a task that didn't have a solution. I nearly got it last time. Sasaki denied stubbornly. The next time I'll get it for sure. Like that's going to happen. Na snorted. Did you realize that during your fight, Kakashi-sensei almost didn't use any damaging move? Sasuke's eyes widened. He gritted his teeth and nodded reluctantly. But you almost got the bell, too. Sakura blinked. Na shook his head. That's only because I caught him off guard with my shadow clone jutsu. I'm sure if I didn't know the jutsu, I would suffer even worse than Sasaki. And he won't fall for that trick again. Wait a second, Sakura said slowly. Maybe you're right. Maybe each of us does not stand a chance against him. But if we work together, just like you did with your clones, we can catch him off guard. Then she frowned. But that can't be right. There are only 2 bells. Unless Sensei wants to trick us into believing that we have to fight each other. Took her long enough to realize it, said Chom snarkily in Naruto's head. Silence filled the air as everyone know. Sasaki and Sakura digested this. Finally, it was Sasuke who commented, that does make some sense. But even if we work together, there is little chance that we'll be able to overpower him. Even Na couldn't do it with his clones before. We need a clear and thorough plan for it to work. Na sighed in relief. He had thought Sasaki would be too stubborn to listen to any of his words. He smiled. Yeah, and to do that, I think we should know what each of us can do. Right now, what I can do is taijutsu and shadow clone. What about you, Sakura? Well, Sakura scratched her cheek. I can do the 3 basic academy jutsu quite well. My taijutsu was adequate and I can use some simple genjutsu too, but cannot maintain them for a long time. And I have to touch him for the genjutsu to work. I still cannot cast them effectively from afar. And you have your monstrous punches, Naruto added helpfully. What did you say? Sakura screeched hysterically and threw another punch at him. Naruto ducked and the fist hit the tree behind him, making the bark flying everywhere. Her eyes widened. See, Na gave her a foxy grin. I wasn't kidding. Sakura grumbled unhappily. And I'm good at taijutsu, shurikenjutsu and some fire-style enjutsu. Sasaki concluded. Very well. I got a plan. Prepare to hand over the bells. Kakashi-sensei. Kakashi lifted his eyes off his book. You again. Haven't you learned anything since the last time? It will be different. Na grinned confidently, his index finger pointing at Kakashi. This time we got a plan that will surely take you down. Shadow clone jutsu. Kakashi thought when the Naruto clones charged him and unleashed a relentless barrage of punches and kicks. Just like before, Kakashi easily blocked all the attacks. But there was something that didn't seem right. Naruto's attack was different from before. Reckless and full of opening. Could it be fire style? Phoenix flower jutsu. A blizzard of fireballs appeared in the sky above the Jonin and rained down his head, intending to set the whole clearing on fire. Kakashi's visible eye narrowed. So Naruto did convince Sasaki to work with him. Kakashi spun, kicking all the Naruto clones away, and he flashed through a series of hand signs. Wind style. Great breakthrough. The wind technique blew the fireballs away, revealing a rain of kanai and shuriken hidden inside the fireballs. Pulling out a kana himself, Kakashi quickly deflected the deadly weapons falling down at him. In about 5 seconds, the clearing was littered with shuriken and kana. Wasting no time, Naruto rushed in with his clones and started attacking Kakashi with his own taijutsu again. I told you this will not work, Kakashi stated when fending off the relentless attack of the boy. We don't need it to work. Na grinned. Because we already won. The punches of Na and the clones suddenly turned to grapples, locking Kakashi's hands in place. Just like before. Then I will just repeat what I did. Kakashi silently melted his chakra, readying himself for a kawarimi, only for a bone-shattering punch to land on his back. Kakashi's eye widened. He was pushed into the weapon field. At what moment he couldn't know, and Sakura was right next to him, her fist back. What the shoneru? With her favorite battle cry, Sakura launched another devastating punch at Kakashi's exposing back. At the same time, her free hand reached out at the bells on his belt. Using substitution to switch with a shuriken on the field and trying to grab the bells when the boys distract me with their jutsu, Kakashi chuckled under his mask. They actually figured it out. This team has great potential if they are able to pass. Kakashi spun and used the momentum to throw Naruto at Sakura. The blonde boy slammed hard into the poor girl and fell on the ground. Kakashi glanced at his belt. The bells were still there. Good. Right on. Cue. The ringing from the bell on the alarm clock echoed through the field. Well, what do you know? Kakashi said in amusement. Time's up. And you three didn't get any bell. Who said we didn't get any bell? Sensei. The voice of Sakura rose from the human pile. She pushed himself up and lifted her hand. She was holding 2 bells. What the? When did you? Kakashi looked down in panic. The bells, which were both on his belt just a few seconds before, had gone. Right at the time Sakura's punch connected with your back, she put you in a simple genjutsu to trick you into seeing the bells still being on your belt, Sasaki, who was walking out from his hiding place in the woods nearby, explained with a smirk. And she only had to swipe the real ones from there when you were still thinking that you got us. Very good, Sakura. You got the bells, Kakashi sighed in defeat. And I must say, the teamwork of you three during that last attack was by far one of the most impressive I've ever seen in a genin team. You even landed a clean hit on me, which no team had ever managed to do before. But now you have 2 bells, Sakura. So which of your teammates will you choose to pass with you? Hell yeah, of course I will choose. But Sakura faltered when she looked at Na. She hated to admit it. But during this test, the one who did the most was Na. He was the one who gave both of them their missed breakfast in the morning. He was the one who faced Kakashi-sensei first. And without Na, they could never have figured out the true meaning of the test. If there was anyone who deserved to pass the test the most, it would surely be Na. Meanwhile, the only thing she managed to do was fainting. If she and Sasuke passed the test and Naruto didn't, it would not be fair for him. But if Naruto passed, it would mean either her or Sasaki failed. Sakura's hand trembled on the thought. She couldn't decide it. Of course, she couldn't let her Sasaki, failed. But she didn't want Naruto to fail either. Should she just be a heartless, ungrateful, and kick Naruto out of the team, or abandon her dream and let Naruto and Sasaki fulfill theirs? If you cannot decide, then I will. Sakura jerked when Na plucked the 2 bells out of her hand. Hey, she protested. Na split the bells and threw each of them to Sakura and Sasaki, shocking all the other 3 people in the training ground. Now each of you has a bell. Guess I'll go back to the academy then. But why? Sakura stammered in shock. She couldn't understand why the blonde did that. Na gave her his trademark foxy grin. Well, I have failed the graduation exam 3 times, so I guess a 4th time would not be that bad. And who knows, maybe this time I can even be Rookie of the Year with my shadow clone jutsu. Guilt twisted Sakura's stomach. Na was giving himself up just for her and Sasaki to pass. Images of the times she did horrible things to him flashed through her mind. Then I will go back to the academy, too. Ha, Na blinked. During the test, I couldn't do anything but fainting. And without you, I could never figure out the trick of the test. Sakura inhaled sharply and continued. If there is anyone who doesn't deserve to pass this test, it is me. Silence filled the air again. And finally, Sasaki said, if it comes to that, then it means I shall go back too, right? There cannot be a team with only 1 member. Kakashi couldn't help but smiled under his mask. He managed to change both Sakura and Sasaki in such a short time. You really are the most surprising shinobi of the leaf, nah. So that's it, huh? Na stretched his back and yawned. Well then, do you guys want to go to Ikyaku's with me? This time I'll treat. Really? Sakura chided him as the only food you know in this world ramen. Nah, hey, it's delicious. Na defended his favorite cuisine. Sasaki just head, where do you think you're going? The voice of Kakashi suddenly rose behind them. I haven't announced the result of the test yet. The three genin stopped on their trail. I hereby announce Team 7 passed the test. Hey, it can't be helped that the bed in his newly acquired Namikaze estate was astoundingly comfortable. The bed in his old apartment was no match for this heaven. And for how he acquired it, PFF Na might be a little bit slow, but he definitely isn't a fool. He already knew who his parents were, damn it. So, it's just a matter of asking the old man, and this comfy little house was his. Sure, it's not a huge luxury mansion or a whole clan ground like the Uchihas, but hey, it's still his house, his inheritance. It's much better than the trash called his old apartment. Hey, Na, wake up. So, it was natural that the voice of the man standing at the end of the bed didn't even seem to reach his ears. On the count of 3, if you don't wake up, there will be trouble. Na just mumbled sleepily, don't say I didn't warn you. And a bucket of very cold water was dumped unceremoniously on his head. Hash, dollar, percent, and carat asterisk dollar. What the hell was that for you, bastard? Na bolted right up. A barrage of profanities shot out of his mouth, making Matabi blushed. Shukaku giggling like mad and Kokuo clapping his hands around Siko's ears, making the girl puff her cheeks angrily. Then he looked out of the window. What the hash percent carat dollar percent hash? The sun isn't even up. Shukaku, Isabu, Goku, Kokuo, and Chom just grinned cheekily. Nature manipulation training coming up now. We'll get you out of that bed unless you want to take a bath again. Na groaned. That was the price for having all 5 nature chakra affinities and a bunch of drill sergeants in the form of the tailed beasts living together with you. Flashback. Na approached Kakashi at Training Ground 7. Kokuo had told him to ask Kakashi to check his nature affinity. But why do I have to do that? I have wind as my nature. Naruto asked in confusion. Well, I just want to check if my suspicion was right, the horse answered. Come on, it won't hurt to know. Well, but asking that out of the blue may make Kakashi-sensei suspicious. Oh, I know. Hey, Kakashi-sensei, can you teach me how to use fire jutsu like Sasaki, please? Kakashi lifted his eye off his book. Nature manipulation is an advanced skill. Nah, why do you want to learn it so soon? Well, I cannot do anything else except for taijutsu and shadow clone spamming. Naruto shrugged. That was the truth, though. The more destructive techniques of him were all unavailable at the moment. So, I would like to, improve my arsenal a bit. After all, Sasaki can do it, and he is a genin just like me. I guess that's true, Kakashi admitted. He rummaged through his shuriken pouch and pulled out a piece of chakra paper. But first, we have to check what your affinity is. Channel your chakra into this piece of paper, and we will know. Na received the paper and channeled his chakra into it. The paper was shredded into exactly 100 little square pieces. 25 of them were burnt into ash, 25 crumbled to dust, 25 turned into small balls of paper, and 25 were soaking wet. Kakashi dropped his book. So, what kind of affinity do I have? Sensei. End. Flashback. 3 hours later, the 5-tailed beasts returned, dragging behind them an unconscious Naruto. Let me guess, Kurama sighed, rubbing her temples. He overloaded his mind with shadow clones again. Yeah, Kokuo admitted. I've warned him that using too many shadow clones in training would be dangerous, but no, he just didn't listen. So, how many clones did he use? Over 9,000, sighed Kokuo. Guyuki, who was in the middle of drinking, spat all the water in his mouth at Goku's face, who was unfortunately sitting in front of him. What? 9,000? There's no way that can be right. Then he saw Kurama's face. Can it? Kurama shook her head. He is Na, but that doesn't even make sense. The octopus man sputtered. I know his signature jutsu is the shadow clone, but how in the world did his brain survive after all those memory backlashes, and there is no way the Bakya road of this house could hold such an absurd number of people at the same time. It's just like the whole population of Kumogak. Kurama rubbed her temples again. Behind the house was a forest. And remember, with Na, there is no such thing called making sense in his dictionary. In front of them, the mess which was Naruto started to twitch. Ah. What hit me? Naru groaned, pushing himself up from the ground. Ah. He's awake, Isabu noted. That was quite fast. I thought he would have been in a coma for at least a week. Nah. Coco looked at his eyes and said in a serious tone, training is good, but overexerting yourself like that is intolerable. From now on, I will only allow you to use 100 clones at most during training. What? Na protested. But that is not fair. I can create even more than I did today. Why should I restrain myself like that? Remember Na, when a clone is dispelled, its memories and experiences will be transferred back to the original. The horseman lectured. If it was just 1 or 2 clones, or even 10, it would be fine. But the memory backlash of thousands of clones is not something to joke about. You saw what happened when you dispelled all those clones at the same time. To a normal person, it might cause a shock to the whole nervous system. His body might stop functioning properly and in the worst case, he dies. That is the reason why the second Hokage declared the jutsu a forbidden one right after he invented it, and only the small-scale version of it is common ammo. NG Shinobi. But that will take too long for me to learn things. Na pouted. Now you're being hypocritical there. Na. Don't worry, Naruto-kun. Training in nature manipulation is not something you can do in just a few hours. Matabi said while putting a huge pot of potato soup on the table. I still remember when Yugito trained her fire element. She needed half a month before she could create a proper fireball. Actually, I was able to do it. Matabi stopped dead on her path. Yeah, already got the wind element done. It is just a matter of memory. I also managed to wet half a leaf and made another one breaking apart, Naruto mumbled. But when I tried burning a leaf, it just dried up a bit before returning to normal. And I can't seem to get lightning at all. It just doesn't feel right. Guy and Matabi were appalled. During their almost eternal life, they had never heard of anyone who could do nature manipulation in just a few hours. That's also our impressions when we first saw it. Shukaku said dryly. Goku, Shome and Isabu nodded in agreement. Either this boy was a genius or a complete idiot. Only someone without anything in his head could absorb knowledge that fast. Hey, I'm not surprised. Kurama commented. After all, you're my genturi. A hint of pride could be heard in her voice. You like him. How cute. Chom cooed. Kurama's face became beet red. I am not. Someone's in denial, Chom said in a singong voice while running away from her sister, laughing like mad. Kurama snarled and leapt, intending to choke the breath out of the beetle girl's lung. You'll never catch me. Don't push your luck, bug. 2 black spheres appeared on Kurama's hands. Na was startled if she used that attack inside the house. 2 tentacles made of plants suddenly burst into the room, wrapping around the 2 girls' bodies and tying them up. Sis, how many times do I have to tell you not to fight inside the house? It was Psycho who had just arrived from the kitchen, holding 10 bowls on her hands. Massive killing intent was leaking furiously from her, and the air in the room suddenly felt like freezing, and she was smiling sweetly, too sweetly to the point of disturbing. Let's cool your head down a little, shall we? Kurama and Chom shook their head frantically. Their body quivered, and for the first time, Naruto could see an expression he never thought he would see on the 2-tailed beast girls' faces. Fear. Psycho put the bulls she was holding on the table and walked out of the house through the back door. The 2 wicked tentacles pulled the 2 struggling girls out of the room, and a minute later, wailing screams filled the air. No way, Na muttered in his breath. Since when has Psycho-chan been so scary? Trust me, you haven't seen everything yet. Guy mumbled in the same tone. His face pallid in utter horror. Na gulped. After a few minutes, Kurama and Shome dragged themselves into the house. Their faces were full of bruises and lumps could be seen on their heads. So, let's get to breakfast. Okay, everyone, the food is getting cold, Matabi said, trying to break the awkward moment. Everyone nodded, still a little bit shaken, and got in the table. Wow, this is so delicious. Naruto tasted a spoon of his soup, and his eyes widened. Did you make this, Matabi? Actually, it's Psycho who made it, the catgirl answered. Honestly, I don't know where she learned how to cook. Tailed beasts usually do not need to eat. Udakata Ni-chan was an awesome cook, the slug girl said with a shy smile. He taught me how to cook in our free time. So mine can't even compare to what he could do. Are you kidding me? Na exclaimed in disbelief. This is the best food I've ever had besides Ikyaku ramen. You're so awesome, Psycho-chan. The white-haired girl blushed hard. Seriously, what's with girls and changing attitude like flipping a book? Naruto's second bowl was devoured as quickly as the first one. Do you really think that will work? Na Kurama asked anxiously. I've thought about it for a while. Na answered. He will have to know about it sooner or later. And I think it's better if he knows about it right now when he is still sane and thoughtful rather than later when Orochimaru messes his min. D up with the curse mark or when Obito pumps into his head his load of bias images. Wow, I can't believe you of all people could think as a strategist. Na pouted. Hey, I'm not that bad. The blonde Jinchuriki had arrived at the Hokage Tower. He knocked at the door of the Hoage room and a come-in was heard from inside. Ah, Na. The old Hokage greeted him with a smile. How do you like your new house? Awesome, Gigi. Na smiled back. I've never slept in anything so comfortable before. Then his smile disappeared, replaced by a serious expression. Hey Gigi, I want to talk to you about something. It is very important. Oh. Serbi raised an eyebrow. And what could that be? The Uchiha massacre, Naruto said shortly. The old Hokage stiffened. Then he looked at the corners of the room. No, Enu, Hatsuji, you're dismissed. The air in the corners shimmered a bit, then became quiet and still again. Sirotoi weaved through hand seals, activating the privacy barrier of the room again. Then he turned back to Na. I trust you know what really happened during the massacre in your timeline, right Na? Na nodded. Of course I did, he stated. But I think there is no way Itachi could do that alone. I suspect that there must at least be someone else who helped him at that night. The Hoage's eyes narrowed. And why do you think the chakra? Of course, Naruto shrugged. I've faced Itachi sometimes before, and even in his prime, he didn't have enough chakra to use his Mangekyo sharing techniques too much. Hell, as far as I remember, a clone with a third of his chakra couldn't use the Mangekyo at all. So, how in the world did Itachi murder a whole clan with hundreds of people all equipped with the Sharingan, and some were Jonin, Andu, or even Hokage candidate alone when he was just, well, 15 or s? A thing like that. Seruto Tobi sighed. The Na of the future was incredibly sharp. All right, Na. The truth is after hearing the story from the Hokage, Naruto's body trembled like crazy. Not from fear, but from rage. It was nothing like the story Obito or even Itachi told him in his timeline. So that means you have known about this for 3 years. Naruto gritted his teeth and didn't bother to tell Sasuke a word. Satobi nodded solemnly. The council was against it. Besides, I fear that if Sasuke knew, he would go mad from the revelation. You fear? Naruto's voice was now full of anger and disbelief. And you prefer other people planting lies into his head and making him even crazier. During my time, he was by Itachi twice, then marked with a cursed seal by Orochimaru, making his head even more of a mess, and was finally told a version of the story without all the important facts, which made him an even more deranged person who tried to destroy the village to purify the name of Uchiha clan. All because there was no one who told him the whole truth about that incident. And you think that is better for him? Sarutobi sat there, horror-struck. He hadn't even thought that his hiding the truth could affect the mind of the Uchiha loner that much. Na stood up. I'm leaving. Gigi, I hope you understand what you have to do right now. If you don't do it, I will because I don't want to lose one of my friends to madness and hatred. Not this time. Release the barrier. That was a command. The old man complied dumbly while staring at the back of the blonde boy who was retreating from his office. Never before had he felt so old and weak, and something inside the man snapped. Anbu, he barked. And an Anbu member flicked into the room. Go find Jiraiya. Serbi gritted his teeth and bring him to my office immediately without delay. He would not allow this to prolong any further. The will of fire shall burn once more. Sasuke was surprised to see the Hokage, together with a white-haired old man he didn't know, standing at his door. What do you want? He scowled. The Hokage didn't smile. Sasuke, we want to talk to you about the Uchiha massacre. I don't want to talk about it, snarled Sasaki, trying to slam his door closed. But Kirby stopped his hand. Trust me, the information I bring here might completely change your view about the whole incident and even about Itachi, your brother. Sasuke's eyes narrowed upon hearing the name. Then after a few seconds, he said, "Come in." "So, what is the information you want me to hear?" Sasaki snapped rudely. Sarutobi and Jiraiya sat down at the table. "First, I want to introduce you to Jiraiya. He's one of the legendary Sonin and is the head of Hidden Leaf's spy network." Sasaki just glared at the white-haired man and nodded. "Now, before we start, I want to ask you," the Hokage continued, "do you know about the Kaili attack on Konoha 10 years ago?" Sasaki was confused. What was of that story related to his clan's massacre? "I don't see any. Just tell me, Sasuke." The Hokage cut him short with a sharp glare. Sasaki gulped and answered, "Yes, I do. The Kyuubi suddenly appeared in the outskirt of the village in October 10th and started attacking He village for no reason. The fourth Hokage killed it and lost his life in the process." "That is the story you've learned at the academy," Sarutobi nodded. "But the truth is there actually was a reason for the attack. During that night, there was one person who sneaked into the village, released the Kyuubi from its gentry and used it to attack the village." "What is a gentry?" Sasaki questioned. "The container of the beast," Jiraiya answered. "The Kyuubi has been sealed inside Genturkus of Konoha for 3 generations. As I was saying," the old Hokage continued. "At that night, a person sneaked into the house of the Jinchuriki, attacked her while she was giving birth and killed her midwife as well as my wife Boko Kirby before breaking the seal, unleashing the Kyuubi and taking control of it to attack Konoha. There were evidences of usage of the sharing on the beast. That night, the old man placed a few photos on the table. In the photos were the image of a 9-tailed fox, and its eyes were in the familiar three-tomo shape of a fully matu. Red sharing." Sasaki was stunned. "Do you know who the first person taking control of the Kyuubi in history was?" "Sasaki?" Jiraiya suddenly asked. Sasaki nodded. "Yes. From what I know, the first person who gained complete control over the Kyuubi was Moa Uchiha." Then his eyes widened in realization. "So that's it, huh?" He snarled. "You destroyed the Uchiha clan to prevent the Kyuubi incident from happening again." Kirby raised his hand. "Please let us finish before you raise your idea. That was just a simple request, but the power and authority hidden inside was the most incredible thing Sasuke had ever felt." He gritted his teeth, but complied. The problem here was not the fact that the attacker that night was an Uchiha with the Sharingan, but was that the Uchiha clan didn't do anything to help defending the village during the attack. One of the greatest clan in Konohagakure with over 200 potential shinobi still in rotation and none of them showed up to report during the night of the attack. It's just like they had wanted the Kyuubi to weaken the village's defense. Connecting all the evidences, we couldn't help suspecting that there was something fishy going on within the Uchiha clan. Therefore, I had established a secret investigation on the clan, and this is the result." The Toad Sage pulled out a scroll from his shuriken pouch and put it on the table in front of Sasaki. Quietly, the boy opened the scroll and his eyes widened. "No way. My clan planned to overthrow the Hokage and taking over the village." He muttered in shock. "I'm afraid they did, Sasaki. And it seems they had planned and prepared for this since the night the Kyuubi attacked the village during which the Uchiha clan members were absent from the Uchiha clan ground." The Hokage nodded gravely, and the night of the massacre is the estimated date of breakout of the coup. According to the constitution of Konohagakure, attempting coup d'etat is an action that might cause wars and thus shall be executed for treason against the village. "But why did you use Itachi for your dirty work?" "Why Itachi? Because of you. Itachi had been forced to murder the whole clan, his own clan. Do you know what it feels to have your own family murdered right in front of you? Not to mention he had to do it himself. Do you understand how that hurts?" Sasaki screamed in rage. "I understand what you want to say, Sasuke, but I haven't finished yet." Kirby shook his head. "It's true that Itachi accepted the mission voluntarily, but that was where everything went wrong. The true mission of Itachi was not killing the entire Uchiha clan." "What do you mean?" Sasaki gritted his teeth. The old Hokage pulled out another scroll. "See it for yourself, Sasaki." Sasaki snatched the scroll from the old man's hand and ripped it open. Then he almost dropped it because of his shaken hand. Mission Assassination Rank S. Reason attempting coup d'etat on Kanehaga's government. Target Fugaku Ueha Hikaku Uchiha Yashu Uchiha Teka Uchiha Tadama Uchiha Sorori Uchiha, many names were written in the scroll but not the name of Eve. Rai member of the clan. As far as Sasaki knew, the date in the scroll was the day of the massacre, and the signature at the bottom of the scroll was written very clearly in the familiar and unmistakable handwriting of Itachi, with a fingerprint of him next to it. Sasuke's lips were cold and numb. But this is, he stammered in shock. It is Sasaki. The Hokage nodded. This is the official documentation of that mission signed by Itachi himself. That mission was issued for secret execution of only the ringleaders of the coup. Then when he told me that he murdered my clan to measure his capacity, he was lying. The Hokage nodded. He must have thought the betrayal of the Uchiha clan would be too much of a shock for a boy who was proud of the clan like you, Sasaki. Then why did he kill even my mother? She didn't do anything. She is not even on the list. And how could you know that Itachi didn't go mad and killed other people in the clan? Sasaki screamed. Tears started to form at the corner of his eyes. Sarobi shook his head. I'm afraid I don't know anything about your mother, Sasaki. But I'm sure that the one who killed all the other members of the clan was not Itachi. Take a look at these pictures. He tossed some more photos on the table. This is the photos captured from the forensic investigation on the corpses of some members of the Uchiha clan. You have learned about weapons at the academy. So you can see that the wounds are too big and shallow for a tonto or a kanai, and the cuts were very clean. Therefore, the murder weapon was not Itachi's tanto, but a very sharp comma enhanced with wind element chakra to broaden and sharpen the blade. Itachi cannot use neither a karma nor wind element. So, we can conclude that it wasn't him who committed the massacre of the Uchiha clan. At least not the whole clan. Sasuke's mind was on the verge of breaking. But then, why did Itachi run away from home and become a missing nin? That is not something which can be discussed at the moment. Jiraiya interrupted when Sarutobi started speaking. However, I can assure you that the decision of leaving the village is of Itachi himself. He came to the Hokage and requested banishment right after the massacre. I think it was to protect you, Sasaki, because together with that, Itachi also requested absolute protection of you from those who want to use you as a breeding stock and those who want to use you as a weapon of Konoha. The weight of the truth finally became too much for Sasuke's brain to handle. With an ear-piercing scream, he collapsed on his chair and started to sob uncontrollably. The world seemingly collapsed in his eyes. Jiraiya started to rise from his chair, but Serbi put one hand on his shoulder to stop him. The old man looked into Sasuke's empty eyes and said, "Sas, I don't know if you understand this, but Itachi is a person who cherishes peace more than most things in the world. If the coup d'etat had broken out, not only Kanehage would have been put in grave danger, but the whole world might also have fallen into another shinobi world war, and many innocent lives should have been wasted on meaningless battles. Itachi understood that, and he didn't want you or your friends or any other citizen of Kanehage to suffer that horrible fate. So, he chose the best thing he could do to protect you and many other people." He paused a bit and continued. "This might feel like an insult to you, Sasaki, but I have to say that one of the Uchiha clan's fatal flaws is their superiority complex. Moa, one of the founders of the village, has always dreamt of gaining control over the village since he and his clan joined force with the first Hokage, just because he believed that he had the power of the ultimate sharing. Even before the village was established, people in the Uchiha family had always waged war with other clans just to prove that they are the most powerful and that they have the right to dominate everyone. Just think of what the non-stop boasting of power had made them into. Remember that and choose your own way carefully, Sasaki. Now, if you excuse me, I must leave." With those last words, the Hokage stood up, glanced at Jiraiya, and the two men left the house, leaving Sasaki alone with his own though. When they were outside of the Uchiha clan estates, Jiraiya asked, "Do you really think that is okay, sensei?" Serbi answered solemnly, "I don't know, Jiraiya. I really don't know. I hope you are right about this, Naruto." Sasaki sat alone in the darkness. He thought about what the third Hokage and Jiraiya had said to him. He didn't want to believe it. His clan, the Uchiha clan, had been the pride of Kanehage since the village was born. How could they suddenly decide to betray the village just like that? But all those decisive evidences all pointed out towards that only possibility. Despite how much he tried to deny it, the truth was still there, clear and conclusive. He thought about his father. He had always wanted the man to tell him that he was his son and to tell him to improve himself to soar to great heights. He had always wanted to be like his father, to become a powerful and talented shinobi like him, to follow his footstep. But did he want to be like him anymore? He thought about Itachi. For so long had he thought of the man as a mass murderer, and he had sworn on his life to become an avenger to make him pay for what he had done to the clan. And suddenly, Itachi turned out to be a peace-loving man who sacrificed himself and his family to prevent a war from breaking out. Memories of that fateful night rushed back to him. He remembered a figure on top of the power pole, watching him as he ran back home from the academy. He remembered Itachi standing over the corpses of his parents, his tonto dripping with blood. He remembered facing the man on the street, his eyes morphing into the Mangekyo Sharingan. And he remembered in that night Itachi's face had been full of tears. Blinded by revenge, he had never even stopped to consider thinking what that meant. Sasaki stood up. The sun was already half down the mountains afar, and the sky was turning red. Just wait for me, Itachi, he mouthed quietly. Someday I will find you, and you will tell me the whole truth. With your own mouth, why did you tell the boy about that without asking us, Serbi? Kaharu Udaten slammed her hands on the table in front of the Hokage in rage, making the paper on it flying everywhere. The old Hokage just threw her a sharp glare. And tell me, why should I ask you about what I am going to do to one of my shinobi? Kaharu, we are the council advisors. The old hag screeched, not unlike a certain pink-haired kunoiki. We have the right to know. Killing intent suddenly filled the room. The two advisors slumped down on the ground in fear, choking on their spit when Serbi stood up, his eyes glued at their faces with a menacing glare as if he was out for their blood. Listen up you, the old man growled. You may be the council advisors, but I am the Hokage. This is a shinobi village, and I hold absolute power over all shinobi and kunoiki in this village, including you. What I decide to do with my shinobi is not of your competence to interfere. Understand? Kaharu and Homiera nodded shakily. They understood that despite being an old coup just like them, Hisan Serbi was not known as the third god of shinobi for nothing. Anbu the Hokage barked, get these two meat bags out of my office. Behind the door, Danzo Shimura cursed in his mind. He didn't expect the old monkey Serbi to make a comeback like this. Because of this, his plan to take over the Hokage seat in the near future would be much harder to bring into action. But no matter, he still had other ideas in mind. Kakashi-sensei is late again. Sakura tapped her foot on the ground in annoyance. Naruto sighed, shaking his head. Well, he is Kakashi-sensei after all. We shouldn't have listened to him. This was the fourth time said sensei was late in a team meeting. He said that they would begin their first mission that morning. But seriously, who in their right mind would issue missions for them at 5 freaking a.m.? Damn that Kakashi Sasaki grumbled. Luckily, I'm used to waking up early. Well, going back home now is just silly. Naruto started. How about sparring until Kakashi-sensei arrives? I'm getting itchy for a good fight. Sakura hesitated. I don't think doing that before a mission is a good idea. Very well, Sasaki cut in. I also want to see how strong you really are. After the bell test, everyone in Team 7 had seen Naruto in a different eye. Na grinned. Sweet. So, how about you and Sakura team up against me? Sakura raised an eyebrow. 2 against 1. What makes you so confident? Na deadpanned, then crossed his fingers. A shadow clone appeared next to him in a puff of smoke. Sakura groaned. Right. Say no more. Then let's get started, Sasaki declared with a smirk. Na grinned back at him. Bring it on. Hey you 3. I was going to come here at 5, but a black cat crossed. Aura. Kakashi had to jump out of the way when a shadow clone of Na was thrown straight at his face. Hey, you're actually quite good, Na. Sasaki grinned between heavy breaths. What did I tell you? Na grinned back. There was no sign of fatigue on his body. I'm just that awesome. Then they charged at each other again. Next to them, Sakura was out cold on the ground. Her face was full of bruises and her left eye sported a brilliantly purple shade. Kakashi sighed. He knew that it's time to stop the two boys. All right, you two. It's time for our mission. Sasaki finally collapsed on the ground, drained out. Damn it, Nah. He panted in exhaustion. Do you ever get tired in your life? Haha. No. Naruto answered with a smile. People didn't call me a walking tank of stamina for nothing. Hey. Don't ignore me. Ow. My head. Sakura woke up with a groan. Do you really have to punch me that hard? Nah. Nah scratched his head sheepishly. Sorry, Sakura, but if I hadn't done that, you would have drilled me to the ground with your own punches. But really, I didn't think a punch like that could knock you out. Well, sorry for not being a stamina freak like you, Sakura retorted. An ominous aura of depression suddenly covered the training field, making the three genin turn their heads. The source of it was Kakashi, who was now sulking on the ground, a rain cloud floating over his head. My cute little genin are ignoring me. What's wrong with him? Sakura raised an eyebrow. Nah, just let him be. Hell get better, Nah answered with a shrug. All right, so, today you'll officially start your shinobi career, Kakashi said with a voice full of authority. What we're doing today is something incredible. It concerns the life of citizens of Konohagakure. It is the fear of all generations of shinobi in all ranks, of all ages. So, what is it? Sasuke asked. He was starting to feel irritated. Kakashi gave him an eye smile. Drank missions. Unfortunately for Kakashi, he focused too much on Sasuke to notice Naruto's evil grin. Tora the cat, the pet of the Fire Dos wife, the terror of every shinobi in Konohagakure, was running on the village street. She had escaped from that horrible excuse of a master again. It's just too easy to find an opening from that fat woman, and she only needed a precise scratch and quick feet to find freedom. Today she heard that another new team of genin was sent to capture her. She had escaped over 1,000 genin. No shinobi in the village had ever captured her without their face being scratched badly. 2 days ago, a team of new genin had also been sent, and she had completely ruined their faces before resigning herself to the John that was with them. So why should she be afraid of another bunch of snot-nosed BRZ? Boo. But she didn't know that this bunch of snot-nosed BRZ was completely different from any other bunches of snot-nosed BRZ. Especially when that bunch of snot-nosed BRZ consisted of one Naruto Uzumaki from the future. Like people say, curiosity killed the cat. And Na had applied that very well to this case. The poor cat never knew what hit her. 45 minutes. Wow, this is a new record. Never before has a team completed the infamous capturing Tora mission in less than 1 hour. Well, what can you say? Na smirked. We're just that awesome. However, Team 7 shall be banned from this mission from now on. The third Hokage continued without missing a beat. What? Why? Na wailed dramatically. Sasuke snorted. Do you even have to ask? Remember what you did to that cat? I have to agree, Na. Kakashi chimed in, tying the target up with 5 rolls of ninja wire and a sticky net, showering it with a mixture of paint, jam, water, glue, alcohol, and mud. Then throwing it into a barrel of tar and feather and dragging it on the ground all the way to the Hokage Tower is too overkill for a cat, you know. That's right, Na. The Hokage nodded. As effective as it is, we want to return Madame Shima's pet alive, not as a corpse covered in whatever you threw at her. It's a demon cat. It'll live. Na shrugged. Now that was too mean of you, Narut, Matabi said inside his head. Na raised an eyebrow. What? I'm a cat, too. And seriously, how in the world did you have the time to set all those traps? Sakura asked incredulously. It's like, let's see, 20 traps in total in just about 10 minutes. Nah. It's nothing comparing to the time I snuck into the Anbu headquarters to spray glue into the masks of Anbu members. Na waved his hand absently. The air in the room suddenly became freezing cold. Did you really say what I think you did? Na. Kakashi turned back to him and gave him a disturbingly sweet eye smile. Na, realizing what he had just said, smiled nervously. Ah. That, well, you see. Excuse me, Hokage-sama. Kakashi grabbed his shoulder. The disturbing eye smile never left his face. I and my cute little student here are going to have a special student-teacher bonding moment. Na gulped. 1 hour later, Na returned to training ground 7 with Kakashi right next to him. His whole body was full of bruises and scratches. What happened to you? Sasuke raised an eyebrow. Na just mumbled something incoherent in his mouth. Ah. Nice weather, Kakashi said with another eye smile. He seemed very cheerful. Too cheerful, I might say. Now, as we have completed the mission today so fast with the help of Naruto here, Na just grumbled unhappily. I think it's time for some training. Are you ready, my genin? No one raised an objection. Or maybe it's because Naruto's jaw hurt so much he couldn't even speak properly yet. Come to think of it, Na was a training freak, so he probably wouldn't mind anyway. Gee, thanks a lot, author. You're welcome. And please don't break the fourth wall. Very well. Today I will teach you how to climb a tree. Kakashi stopped when he saw the faces of Sasuke and Sakura. What is something wrong? But climbing a tree is not hard. We can do it already. Sakura blinked. Oh. But do you know how to do it like this? With those words, Kakashi walked towards a tree and started walking up the trunk. He continued to walk until he reached a pretty high branch. I can do it. Naruto raised his hand from below, making Kakashi nearly fall off the branch. Really? Demonstrate. Then, he ordered after managing to retain his balance on the branch. Naruto nodded and started walking up another tree nearby until he reached a branch as high as Kakashi's. Where did you learn that? Sasuke demanded, getting upset as the dead last knew something he didn't know. Oh. I saw someone did that before and decided to ask them how to do it. Naruto shrugged. I've just completed it a few days ago. It turns out to be an effective technique to run away from people chasing me, you know. Hearing that, Sasuke didn't push further. Actually, he himself had seen people in his clan doing things like that many times before. He cursed himself mentally for not asking Itachi or his father how to do it. Sakura was also surprised, though not very much. After witnessing what Naruto had done during the bell test, she understood that Naruto had been hiding many things from everybody. Therefore, if Naruto had known some techniques before her, it wouldn't have been a strange thing anyway. But Kakashi was the most upset. Being a jonin, he knew exactly what the greatest problem of Naruto was. And when he said, people chasing me, he understood it is. Mobs chasing after me to kill the demon. Being Naruto's secret guardian for a long time, he couldn't help feeling guilty about letting the boy suffer like that. Now listening to the boy talking about that like some daily routine. The guilt started to bubble up again in his heart. He felt that in some way he had failed Manado-sensei. He had failed to protect his teacher's son. Failed to give the boy a better life when he didn't have the love of his parents. But why do we have to learn this? Finally, after a few seconds, Sasuke spoke up. I mean, it just looks like some fancy way to travel. It does not seem to help anything in battle. I was going to explain that, Kakashi answered. Now, how about you try to do it first, Sasuke? Channel chakra to your feet and run up the trunk. Sasuke stared at him incredulously, but then nodded and did as he was told. He smirked when his feet planted firm on the tree trunk. He took one step, then 2 steps, but at the third one, the bark crumbled under his feet, and Sasuke fell down the tree. His face connected to the ground with a sickening thud. See that, Sasuke? Kakashi said in an amusing tone. If you lose control of your chakra, you fall. The purpose of this exercise is to improve your chakra control. The better your chakra control is, the more effectively you can use your jutsu. Genjutsu requires good control of your chakra, too. So, if you want to learn genjutsu, you have to improve your control first. But then does that mean Naruto has the best chakra control among us? Sakura questioned. Kakashi smiled. Not quite. Right now it is the truth that Naruto has the best control, but with enough training, your control shall become better than him. Na is not someone suitable for precise chakra control. Na pouted. Hey, I'm not that bad. Right. Well, if you're that good, how about you looking after your teammate for a while? I have some work to do. And Kakashi flickered away without letting Na say a word. Na stared at the place Kakashi had just disappeared from for a while, then grumbled something sounded suspiciously like, damn, lazy bastard. Sasuke was frustrated. Sakura had got the technique at her first try. Meanwhile, his best was just 10 steps up the trunk before he lost control and fell to the ground. Hey, Dobi, give me some tip. Naruto looked at Sasuke inside. Yeah. Whatever timeline or age he was in, Sasuke was still a jerk. Sasuke, he started with a tone full of annoyance. If you want someone to help you, you should stop using that tone. Who the hell do you think you are, my father? Sasaki bristled. I am an Uchiha, and how does that make you different from anyone? Na cut him short with a sharp voice. Greater men than you have gotten themselves killed because of that stupid. I'm from a great clan thing. Even if you are strong, there will always be someone in this world who is stronger than you. Can you defeat the Hokage? Can you defeat Kakashi Sensei? Hell, can you even defeat Yuruka Sensei when he is serious? In this world, you are nothing yet, Sasaki. Do you ever feel that everyone in the village doesn't care about you and your clan? Well, sorry, it's not like everyone ignores you. It's that attitude of yours that make you ignore people and people scare of you. Stop hiding behind your clan name and be a man. Anger started to boil in Sasuke's head. He opened his mouth, an insult ready to be thrown at the blonde in front of him. Then he faltered because he realized retorting only proved what Naruto said was true. During the bell test, he couldn't even land a hit on Kakashi alone, even when the Jonin was not fighting seriously. Even more so, he was humiliated by said Jonin with a stupid trick. Even he himself understood that the gap between their ability was too great. Since he was a child, his father had taught him that the Uchiha was always the strongest. He was proud of being born into the Uchiha clan, of bearing the Uchiha name and wearing the symbol of the clan on his back. But now looking back, he could see that despite bearing the name of his family, he was still just a weak genin. He was still just a grain of sand in this whole desert called the shinobi world. And after what the Hokage had told him the previous day, he said that the fatal flaw of the Uchiha clan was the pride of their own power. He didn't want to believe it, but look at what the power of the Uchiha had brought to his clan. They planned a coup on Konoha and were massacred in the process. Could it be that he was right? Could it be that his pride of the clan name had made him forget who he really was? Fine. After a while, Sasaki grumbled begrudgingly. Can you give me some advice? All right. Naruto smiled. He was happy that Sasuke decided to be nice for a change. It was just reluctant, but a change is still a change. What do you feel when you focus your chakra? Hey, my genin, how was the training going? Kakashi's voice trailed off when he saw Sasaki and Sakura running up and down the tallest trees in the training ground just like walking on flat ground. And Na was looking at him from a lower branch, grinning cheekily while hanging himself upside down. Wow, you did a great job as a teacher after all. Maybe I'll let you be the sensei of the team for a while, he joked. Na just stared at him with a deadpan expression while Sasaki and Sakura gasped in horror and fell off the trees they were running up. Na was skipping on the street of Kanahagaka. Well, to be fair, he had done a lot of useful things during the last week. He had completed his wind element training. Still not as good as it was during his time, but hey, it's just a week and he already got it to that level. And he was stuck in a 10-year-old body, so that was a plus. He had managed to gain respect from Sasaki, Sakura, and Kakashi Sensei. Since after the tree climbing training, Kakashi Sensei hadn't called him a dead last, and Sakura hadn't punched him silly like before, except for when they were sparring, of course. Sure, Sasaki was still a jerk, but at least he had opened up to everyone in the team more than ever. He had managed to make the old Hokage tell Sasaki the truth about the massacre of the Uchiha clan. Maybe it was the reason why Sasaki had mellowed out that much. And even Gigi didn't look like a senile old man like he was before. He looked somewhat happier and somehow stronger. Na didn't understand why, but that couldn't be a bad sign, could it? And he together with his team had managed to complete a lot of dank missions. Thanks to the shadow clones anyway. So there, what was the reason for him not to be in a very happy mood? Crash. Ow, ow. But despite how happy you were, you should have kept your eyes on the road while you're walking, Na. Na rubbed his nose while wincing. That hurt. He snapped his head up, ready to throw an insult to the face of the bastard who rammed into him. Then he stopped abruptly because he realized that the one who just crashed into him was Hinata. The anger in his head was gone in an instant, replaced by honest concern. He jumped toward the fallen girl and shook her lightly. Hey, Hinata-chan. Hinata-chan, are you okay? The girl groaned meekly and opened her eyes, only to face the concerned blue eyes of her crush directly above her, staring straight right into her white orbs. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I crashed into Naruto-kun. He is staring at me. Her face immediately heated up to a dangerous level. Her eyes rolled to the back of her head and her consciousness started fading. Oh no, you don't. Na cursed. He had almost forgotten about Hinata's strange habit. Don't go fainting on me now. Wake up, Hinata-chan. Wake up. He slapped her cheek gently. Hinata groggy opened her eyes again, and she saw Naruto's face even closer to hers than before. She fainted again. Damn it. Well, I don't know how to say this, but maybe it would be better if you get your damn face off hers. Kurama snapped in annoyance. The boy was still as dense as always. Or, good point. Hey, what are you doing to Hinata? The voice from his back almost made Naruto jumped. He turned back and realized he was facing Car. He smiled nervously. Ah. I just crashed into her a few minutes ago and I was trying to get her back up. Then she just fainted like that. Then he realized the backpack on Car's back. He saw that Hinata was also wearing a similar one. Hey, is your team going somewhere? Ha, we're having a C rank mission out of the village, so we have to prepare for it. Car bragged a dead last like you will not going to have anything like that. Akamaru wed. He gave Na a look that could be understood as sorry Na-san. Na rolled his eyes. He had known Car for so long that he didn't care about his bragging habit anymore. Behind them, Hinata groaned and opened her eyes again. Fortunately for her, there was no sign of Naruto's face near hers anymore. But unfortunately for her, he was the first one who recognized that she was awake. Ah, Hinata-chan, he exclaimed, his legs ready to leap towards her. Hinata snapped her eyes shut. She didn't want to be sent to the dreamland once more. What? Oh. Come on, fine. Hinata opened her eyes one more time and sweat dropped seeing Na talking to himself while waving his hand around as if he was chasing some invisible mosquitoes. Na started to sweat when he realized Hinata's stare. Crap, I said that out loud. Did I? The two of them continued staring at each other awkwardly for a while. And maybe they would have stood there like that forever if the voice full of annoyance of Car hadn't. T rose from behind them. Oi lovebirds, cut it out. We have a mission to do here. Hinata and Naruto immediately snapped back to reality. Their faces both heated up. Lovebirds. Hinata had to concentrate every particle of her mind to keep herself from fainting again. So, good luck on your mission, Hinata-chan, Na said lamely. Oh. Okay, thank you, N. And Naruto-kun, Hinata stuttered back. Her face was as red as a cherry now. See you soon. Then she ran away like flying, leaving Car behind coughing like crazy in a smoke-sucked scream coming out from nowhere. Poor girl, Psycho commented in a sad tone. Yeah. Chom agreed, falling in love with a boy who was as dense as a rock. Hey Gigi, we want a C rank mission. Serby blinked. It's not like he was surprised though. He had expected Naruto to ask for this considering where and when he was from. I agree, Sasaki added. No offense, but all those chores we have been doing since last week made me sick. I'm tired of seeing clients glaring at us when we arrived for the missions already. Well, maybe all the glares were aimed at Nali, but still. And they didn't know why Na deserved all those glares. Sure, he might be a prankster, but that didn't mean those glares. It's just as if he was a monster. What had Na done to them to make them hate him? That much. Besides, Sakura chimed in. A team has to complete at least 5 D ranks before they can advance to C ranks, right? Hokage-sama. Well, Team 7 has fulfilled the minimum requirement. Sasaki smirked. I didn't know you were interested in AC rank too, Sakura. Sakura just blushed. Anything for you, Sasaki, __, yes. She was still a fangirl. Couldn't expect anyone to change completely in just a week, right? But she would get better. Hell, she would even have the potential to become a person of mass destruction if she put her mind into it. But that was the story of the future. Right now, the only thing whatever she was doing did was creeping Sasaki out completely. Well, I guess that's true. The old Hokage scratched his head. But I'm afraid the last C rank mission of this week was taken by teammate yesterday. Maybe if you return next week, there will be a mission available for you. So then, how about you just do some more D ranks while waiting? Team 7 groaned. Well, except for Kakashi, of course. That's weird. What's wrong, Kurama? As I remember, today is the day you received the mission to wave, right? The Vixen wondered, so there must be at least that mission available for you, unless her eyes suddenly widened in realization. Suddenly, the door to the mission control burst open. Hokage-sama Team 8 led by John and Kurinyuhi requires reinforcement for their escort mission to Wave. During their mission, they were ambushed by the demon brothers of Kuraja. Naruto's blood froze. Dread twisted his stomach. Now he knew what happened to the mission to Wave. And worse, he knew exactly what was going to happen during that mission. Damn it, why is this happening? It meant the teammate would have to face Zabuza instead of them. During his time, Kakashi was known as the most powerful Jonin of Konohage, even without the Mangekyo sharing. And he'd still had to struggle against Zabuza. What if Kurani-sensei couldn't hold her own against the demon of Kuriaka? Ka, Shino, Hinata, Chan, Gigi, we will take that mission. The sudden outburst of Naruto shocked everyone in the room. Iruka was the first one to revive from the shock. Don't be a fool, nah. That mission shall be declared at least B rank, and there's no way you're qualified enough to take it. Does it look like I care? Na snapped back in anger. He didn't even realize that he had just sworn in front of Iruka-sensei and everyone, but as he said, he didn't care. Right now, my friends are in danger, and you expect me to just sit back and watch them die. Someone had taught me before. Those who abandon their comrades in need are lower than trash. No matter what you say, I will not sit there and leave my friends alone to die. Iruka was almost thrown off balance. Not only because of Naruto's retort. Something about the boy was making him feel uneasy. The Na in front of him right now was not the same Na he used to know. Never before had he seen Na so angry and mature, too. Those words could not be the words of a mere newly graduated genin. Looking at Naruto right now, Iruka couldn't help but imagining of a certain famous shinobi with spiky blonde hair, just like Na. Meanwhile, Kakashi was also shocked, but for a completely different reason. His visible eye locked at the frame of the blonde in front of him. Gears seemed to grind madly inside his head. How did he know those words? This is interesting. We will take the mission. Sasuke's voice suddenly rose. In his face was a predator grinned. Sakura hesitated. Sasuke, I don't think our skill is enough for that kind of mission. This mission is a good way to prove my strength, Sasuke insisted. I want to see how good I am against a strong enemy. Na looked back at Sasuke. A wave of gratitude swept through his stomach. He didn't expect the other boy to support him like that. Although what Sasuke said did make him feel a bit on edge, he pushed the thought away. Right now, the mission was more important. Well, if Sasuke, said so, then I also have no problem, Sakura said after a deep breath. Iruka turned to Kakashi for support. Kakashi, say something. Team 7 is not good enough for this kind of mission. As he wished, Kakashi opened his mouth. Very well. Team 7 accepts the mission. Hokage-sama. Iruka almost fainted. But Kakashi, Iruka, remember that those three are not your students anymore. Kakashi cut him short. They are my soldiers now and I know what to do with them. I believe they can handle whatever they are going to face in a mission like this. Besides, he gave an eye smile. They have me with them. Iruka seemed like he wanted to say some more, but he was cut short again, this time by the Hokage. Very well, Kakashi. I hereby assign the mission to give Team 8 reinforcement as Team 7's first official B rank. I expect you to depart within 1 hour without any delay. Do you understand? Yes. Hokage-sama realizing the seriousness of the event. Sakura and Sasuke rushed out of the room back to their respective homes for preparation. Naruto was going to follow them before Kakashi's hand grasped his shoulder firmly. Naruto, we need to talk. The eye smile from before was completely gone. Naruto gulped. A bead of sweat started to fall from his temple. Okay, sure, but I think we will have to tell Gigi about this first. No, seriously, I won't try to run away. An hour later, Team 7 assembled at the main gate of the village, fully equipped. Summoning Jutsu, Pakam, Kakashi's personal ninken, appeared in a puff of smoke. What's up, Kakashi? He raised his paw. What kind of mission is it that you have to require my assistance? Kakashi's face was full of seriousness. Pakan, I need you to track down the position of teammate led by Kurani. Can you do it? Kurani, isn't that the beauty with red eyes that you like? Kakashi, all right, wait a minute. Na snickered. Kakashi-sensei likes Karai-sensei. Really? The glare of Kakashi immediately shut him up. Found them. They're in the border between the land of fire and the land of wave and are moving at a slow speed. We can catch up with them in 2 hours if we go full speed. The dog at his feet suddenly exclaimed. Kakashi nodded and turned back to his genin. All right, everyone. This is the first high-rank mission you are about to take part in, he said in an unusually serious tone. In his voice, there was no trace of his usual laziness. Instead, it was full of power and professionalism. I have to tell you, this is not like any mission you have done before. It will likely include fighting, injuries, and even death. Are you sure you really want to do it? If you don't, you can turn back and go home right now, and I will not make you hold any responsibility. No one budged. Kakashi nodded in satisfaction. Good. Now, if everyone is ready, go. The command echoed through the woods around, and the 4 shinobi and the dog took off. Kurenai cursed inwardly while struggling to hold her breath inside her assailant's water prison. Since the departing from Konoha, she had felt something very wrong was going to happen during their mission. And after meeting the demon brothers, her dreaded feeling was proven to be true. And she had made the terrible mistake of allowing the mission to continue. Though she had also sent a letter requesting reinforcement back to Konoha, she just didn't expect to run into Zabuza Mamaki, the demon of the hidden mist of all people. Since the start of their battle, the difference in their power had been proven to be too much. As a genjutsu specialist, her other skills couldn't hope to compare to those of Zabuza. And now look at what that devil had done. Shino was lying on the ground, his Kikai insect hive completely exhausted. Ka and Akamaru was smashed into a tree nearby with Akamaru unconscious and Ka holding his ribs in pain, and she was trapped inside this water sphere waiting for death. The only defense of their client right now was Hinata. The girl's Byakugan were activated but her limbs were trembling like crazy. I must admit, you are not called the Genjutsu Mistress of Kanahagaka for nothing. Kurinayuhi, but even that you are still no match for me. A normal human could only hold her breath for about 3 minutes. If she can't do anything to get out of the water, she will be drowned. Kurana's body was screaming out in protest. It had reached its limit, and all muscles and organs inside her was convulsing under the pressure and lack of air. Her consciousness was gradually slipping away. Now you'll stay there quietly when I kill the bridge builder. Kurani could only watch helplessly when the water clone of Zabuza took its form and started walking towards the client and her genin's sword raised high. The reinforcement didn't arrive in time. It's over. There's no way they could escape now. They would all be killed. She had failed as a Jonin sensei. The gigantic cleaver was brought down in a deadly arc, and it was stopped dead in its way with a loud clang. Never before had Kurani felt so relieved hearing the sound of steel clashing against steel. Thank goodness reinforcement has finally arrived. Then everything went dark around her. Hinata was terrified. The truth is she is by no means a weak fighter. With her Bakugan and Juken, she can kill almost anyone she wants with just a quick slap to their chest. And her speed and flexibility are nothing to be underestimated either. With all those skills, she definitely has the potential to become one of the most deadly kunoiki in the world. But that's only if she wants to. Hinata hates fighting. Being a meek and gentle girl, she doesn't want to hurt anything or anyone, even if it is her enemy. Because of that, despite being in the Hyuga clan, a clan specializes in murdering people with their finger pokes of doom, her grade in taijutsu was just mediocre comparing to other students during her academy time. Because of that, everyone in the clan laughs at her. And even her own father despises her, calling her the failure of Hyuga clan. And because of that, she is the weakest link in teams of formation. And right now, she was trembling like crazy when the masked assassin descended at her with his giant cleaver raising high. Sorry, little girl, I don't like killing children, but you're in my way, so you're going to die now. She closed her eyes, waiting for the consequence. The blade was brought down on her head. She heard Ka screaming her name. Shino grunting in pain and footsteps coming from behind her. Spiky blonde hair flashed through her mind. Narutkan, I'm sorry. A loud clang echoed through her ears, and she suddenly felt her body being lifted off the ground. She snapped her eyes open only to see that all she could see was the spiky blonde hair she had just imagined. Sorry, Hinata-chan. Am I late? Team 7 had arrived in time. Yeah, It was Kakashi who jumped out to block the sword of the Zabuza clone right before it chopped Hinata in half and destroyed it with a quick slash of his kunai. And it was well, more exactly, a clone of him who grabbed the girl and jumped away from the battlefield. It would have been an awesome heroic princess rescuing scene which can only be seen in cliché shoujo anime had Na carried Hinata in some other way rather than a fireman's lift. Well, can't blame him. He is Na anyway. Na is always an idiot when it comes to romance. Go die in hell, author. Did I tell you not to break the fourth wall, Na? And if I die, you will not exist anymore. Well, you're not my creator anyway, but I'm the one writing this story. Ah. Touché. Zabuza sneered when looking at his new opponent. Ah. Kakashi of the Sharingan, the man who has copied over 1,000 jutsu. Such an honor of me to face someone as famous as you. Zabuza Mamaki, known as Demon of the Hidden Mist, Kakashi answered. I have to ask you to release the woman you're trapping inside your water prison, or else I'll have to kill you. He finished and pulled his hit up, revealing his sharing. Oh. I'd like to see you try. Zabuza laughed and squeezed his hand a bit. Inside the ball of water, Kurenai gasped in pain. Air bubbles poured out of her mouth at a dangerous pace. At this rate, she would die of asphyxiation in a minute. Approach me and the woman will die immediately. If you don't, she will die in a few minutes. Now, which way do you choose? Kakashi of the sharing. Zabuza taunted and Kakashi gritted his teeth. Hostage. Damn it. I won't be able to save Kurina and defeat him at the same time. What should I do now? Neither. What? Afuma Shuriken flew out of the forest behind them, aiming at Zabuza's face. Of course, Zabuza caught it easily with his free hand. Ha, as if such a silly trick of some snot-nosed genin could even touch me. Then the Shuriken turned into Na, who started dogpiling him with clones. A lot of clones. What? Wah, what the? Get off me, brat. The Naruto clones just grinned before grabbing his arms and legs, trying to push Zabuza down into the water below him with all their combined weight. Damn you. After a while, Zabuza had enough. His chakra exploded violently, throwing all the Naruto clones away in a gust. He reached out his vacant hand, grabbing the handle of his sword and swung hard, slamming at the real Naruto and sending the boy flying like a baseball. The blonde boy hit the ground with a loud thud and some sickening cracks echoed through the air. Smirking behind his bandage, Zabuza formed a one-handed seal, intending to mold chakra to form a water clone to finish the boy off, only for a fist to drill itself into his face. This time, it was Zabuza who was sent flying. His hand were ripped away forcefully from the water prison. Without its chakra source, the ball of water melted away, releasing Kurani, who was nearly dead inside it. Holding the unconscious woman in his hand, Kakashi turned back to Zabuza, who was now struggling to get his body out of the water. Killing intent blasting out of his body was so massive it seemed to be visible like a raging flame. I'll show you Zabuza, he said coldly that no one is going to mess with Kakashi Hataki's students and get away with it. 2 advices for you. Do not try to get on Kakashi's nerves when he is angry. And do not ever in your life try to kill his students, especially when the student is Naruto Uzumaki. If you want to know why, ask Zabuza. He'll tell you what it feels to be curb stomped by the sharing user. And being blasted in the face by a giant fire hose in the form of a dragon is only the tip of the iceberg. The fact that Kakashi wasn't stuck inside the water prison for about 10 minutes with his sharing gun out wastefully didn't help Zabuza in any way. For the sake of underage readers, pregnant women, elders with heart problems, and ridiculously cute critters, the author would prefer to be excused from describing this fight thoroughly in this story due to its brutality. If Haku hadn't saved him in time by piercing his neck with sun to shut his body down temporarily, he would have been murdered for real. The masked fake hunter Nin landed on the ground in front of them and turned to check up on Zabuza's seemingly dead body. Then he turned back to the group and bowed. Thank you for your assistance, Konohan. I've searched for him for a few months and now I can finally finish my mission. You're one of Courage's hunter Nin, right? Kakashi asked, being too focused on his own battle. He hadn't noticed the existence of the newly arrived shinobi until now. The hunter Nin nodded. Yes, and since my mission has been completed, I have to dispose of this body. It contains too many secrets and I cannot let it fall into possession of other villagers. Farewell, and the hunter nin flickered away together with the body. Kakashi's eyes narrowed, but then he sighed and pulled his hit down, covering his sharing gun up. The battle was over and there was no reason to worry the genin anymore today after what they had been suffered. You also noticed it, right, Kakashi-sensei? Kakashi almost jumped when he heard Naruto's quiet whisper right next to him. He nodded quietly, understanding what the blonde wanted to say. Then why didn't you go after them? Kakashi sighed. I'm almost out of chakra. Besides, Kurani and her team need some rest after what happened today. And what about you? Nah. I heard some nasty cracks from your body over there. Nah. I'm fine. At least this time you're not unconscious, sensei. Naruto chuckled. Well, I will be if we do not have something to eat in a bed to rest soon. Kakashi smiled back. So, how about you go and help the other? It might be better if we arrive at our client's house before sunset. Na nodded and started going back to the others, who was now busy with Kurana and other members of Team 8, but not before taking a quick glance at the end of the trail again. Just wait for me. This time, I will not let any one of you die. Believe it. Tsunami was horrified when a bunch of people she didn't know stumbled at her front door. All looked like they had just crawled out of a minefield. By Kami, what in the world had just happened? She exclaimed in disbelief, slapping a hand to her mouth. But everyone, well, maybe almost everyone, was too exhausted to answer her question. Finally, Zuna said after catching his breath, Tsunami, these are the ninja escorting me. Please treat them properly. We've been through a very hard day. How is Kurani-sensei? Kakashi-sensei. Kakashi looked at the timid Hyuga and smiled. She'll be fine. She's drained herself out, but nothing a few days of rest cannot fix. Right now, she's sleeping, so don't disturb her. The girl let out a sigh in relief. Thank goodness. Oh. And how are your teammates doing? Kakashi remembered. I think they were hurt pretty bad out there. They're fine, I think. Hinata shook her head. Shino-kan's bugs are exhausted and Kibukun and Akamaru, they're quite beaten up, but I think they're not hurt too much. At least no bone is broken. Ah. That's great. Kakashi's facial muscles relaxed. Then let's go check up on them, shall we? I don't know much about medical jutsu, but I can still help patching them up. For the first time in the day, Hinata smiled. Thank you, Kakashi-sensei. And she was able to complete a sentence without stuttering, too. Well, I hate to tell you this, but I suspect that Zabuza is still alive. Kakashi's words were nothing less than a bomb dropped in the middle of the quiet room. What do you mean, sensei? Sakura blinked. Kakashi nodded solemnly. Senbon is the type of weapon with the lowest probability of killing the target. Furthermore, I didn't have the time to check Zabuza's body to ensure that he was dead. And Hunter Nin's job is usually to destroy the body of a ninja right in the battlefield to ensure that secrets in that body don't fall into enemy's hand. In fact, I've never seen a Hunter Nin carrying a dead body away like that. Connecting all those evidences, yeah, there is a very high possibility that Zabuza is still alive. For a while, the room was silent. And by silent, I meant completely, utterly silent. There was absolutely no sound. Even the sound of breathing was absent. It seemed like time itself had stopped during that moment. Then total pandemonium broke out. Ah. Zabuza is still alive. We're going to die, screamed Ka hysterically while running around the room like there was a train chasing after him. Sasake and Shino cringed at the same time and jumped out of their seat, both ready to defend themselves with whatever they had. Sasake with weapons and Shino with his newly revived Kikai bugs. Sakura's and Hinata's faces were as white as chalk, and they started to tremble uncontrollably. It seemed they could faint if anyone touched them on the shoulders at that moment. Kakashi's sweat dropped. Ah. You guys, I didn't say that. Screams cut him short had it not been for the fact that almost everyone was scared shitless. The scene in the room right now would have been incredibly funny. Calm down all of you. After 5 minutes, Kakashi had enough. He exploded and everyone in the room cringed. Yes. Even Naruto. Realizing that he had just spewed out profanities in front of the genin, Kakashi cleared his throat awkward. Lion continued. Well, as I have just said, Zabuza is still alive and together with him is the mysterious ninja who rescued him. The problem is we don't know how strong that ninja really is and what kind of ability he or she has. And Kurinaya is still unconscious and might be unable to fight in a few days. But luckily for us, the wounds of Zabuza were also very severe. And I think he cannot show his face in less than a week and a half. Because of that, starting from tomorrow, I'll give all of you training to improve your abilities in case Zabuza attacks again, which no doubt will happen in a few more days. Together with that, we will take turn guarding our client when he goes to the bridge for work. Do you understand? Everyone nodded. Kakashi's face relaxed. Good. Now, everyone, go to sleep immediately. We have much work to do in the morning. When Kakashi left the room, Sakura whispered, "Wow, Kakashi-sensei just got serious. I can't believe I would live to see the day he's not lazy." Poor Sakura. She had underestimated the hearing ability of a Jonin. And Kakashi definitely didn't leave the room far enough to not hear what she had just said. The next morning, the Konoha group minus Kerr and I of course assembled in a clearing in the forest behind the house. All right, before we start training, I need to know what you can do first. I'm not your Jonin sensei, so I cannot get a grasp of your ability yet. You first, Shino, the glass boy answered. I can use my clan's insect jutsu. And Kakashi nodded, waiting for the boy to continue, but he didn't. The excitement of Kakashi withered away. You don't know any other jutsu except your clan jutsu. The boy shook his head slightly. I can do basic academy ones, too. My chakra is mainly used to feed and grow my hive. Kakashi sighed figures. Yeah. I have been trained in my clan's unique taijutsu. And I got a Kamaru, too. The dog boy hollered. And a Kamaru wed in agreement. Oh. And I also know basic academy jutsu, he added. Kakashi nodded. That will do. And you, Hinata? The timid girl started hesitantly. I have my Byakugan and I know the basic of Juken, but I'm not very good. I see. Kakashi nodded in understanding as expected from a Hyuga. So that was the idea of Kurenai when she chose a team with 2 taijutsu users who are only capable of using their clan's techniques and 1 supporter using only insect jutsu. This is going to be a problem. Why is that? Sensei Sakura asked in confusion. Kakashi sighed. Because Team 8 was selected by Kurama to be a reconnaissance team Sakura. And the role of a reconnaissance team in combat is different from that of an assault team. Usually during battles, the mission of a reconnaissance team is to confirm the location of enemies, report it back to the assault squads, and then retreat quietly without engaging. Because of that, their battle capabilities are mostly lower than other teams. Well, maybe higher than a team full of medics, but still. Hey, how dare you underestimate us? We're much better than that loser over there. Ka barked in rage while pointing at Naruto. Hey, in protest. Even Hinata seemed to be a bit upset at the John's remark. I didn't mean it like that, Ka. What I meant here is as a reconnaissance team you are not the type of shinobi who are suitable for frontal assault. Kakashi countered with a professional voice. Hinata and Shino, you two possess jutsu which are capable of silent assassination. And you, Ka, you have the ability to pinpointing your enemy's location precisely in the shadow and finish him off in one strike. Those skills allow you to be specialists in scouting and assassination in close range. But against enemies with heavy mid-range and long-ranged firepower, such as Zabuza, you don't have any skills which can be used against them. Am I right about that? The Jonin statement hit bullseye. Having nothing else to say, Ka grumbled unhappily. Well, that's true. But does it mean that you can't train us? Hinata stammered. Her eyes were full of worry. Kakashi scratched his cheek. Well, not quite. It's true that I cannot turn you into an assault team in such a short time, but right now I can train you in some basic skills that will help you survive in a battle. Now, have any of you learned the tree walking exercise? Hinata and Shino raised their hands. Kakashi nodded. Good. Then while Ka train on that skill, a shadow clone of me will train you two in your movement and reflex, and the real me will go with Sasake and Naruto to Gu. Arjuna. Sensei, what about me? Sakura raised her voice, confused as her name wasn't mentioned. Oh. Don't worry, Sakura. Your basics are not bad. Even your chakra control is perfect considering you have completed both the tree climbing and water walking exercises so quickly. However, you have 2 major weaknesses, which is your fragile body and lack of stamina. Therefore, in your training, I will mainly push your body to the limit to improve it. Which reminds me, Kakashi bit his finger, then weaved through hand seals, summoning jutsu. Smoke filled the air, but when it dispersed, not only Pakum, But a whole pack of hunting dogs appeared in front of the group, and their teeth were dripping with saliva. Sakura. Kakashi gave her an eye smile. You'd better start running now. Oh. And you guys, he told the dogs, don't stop chasing her until I tell you to. The poor girl could only scream and run for her life when the pack of predators leapt at her. Fangs bared. All the remaining genin couldn't help sharing the same thought. Kakashi-sensei is such a sore loser. This sucks. Yeah. At least Sakura got to train. Sasaki and Naruto were sulking at the side of the huge construction which was going to be the Great Bridge. Yeah. They understood that because they're the better ones in the group, they should leave the training opportunity to the others who were not as good as them. But this was just torture. Never in his life had Naruto felt so bored. Yeah. In his timeline, Naruto had never had to go for a shift in the construction zone. Whenever his teammates went for it, Naruto would have either gone for training or laying unconscious into Zuna's house, and that made it even worse. Sometimes being too good will just come back and bite you in the arse, that's it. Naruto finally snapped, completely lost his patience. He bolted up and kicked a boulder next to him. Crack. FCKKKK. My toes. Sasaki face-palmed, shaking his head. Idiot. There are other ways more effective to entertain yourself rather than smashing your foot against rocks. Nah. Kakashi said amusedly. He had just arrived in time to see Naruto break his toes on the rock. The boy glared at him, jumping around on one leg. Oh yeah. We're definitely not going to read you to amuse ourselves. Thank you very much. Ouch. Kakashi sighed. How many times do I have to tell you that it was not mere? And anyway, you don't have to always move your body around to train here. He pulled out a piece of chakra paper and gave it to Sasaki. The Uchiha boy blinked. What am I supposed to do with that? Channel chakra into it. It will show what element your chakra is. Sasaki blinked again. But I know I have fire already. Well, who knows? The Jonin smiled. Just try it. Maybe we'll have a surprise. Sasaki looked at him incredulously, but complied anyway. The paper crumpled into a ball and then caught fire until it became a pile of ash at his feet. Kakashi blinked. Fire and lightning. Two of the most destructive elements and very powerful, too. Well, genin usually do not have this many when they've just graduated. But I'm not surprised considering what Naruto has. Ha, what element do you have, Dobby? Naruto answered nonchalantly. Oh. I have wind, water, earth, fire, and lightning. Sasuke's eyes bugged out. What? You have all five? How is that possible? Naruto shrugged. It's just kind of happened. Damn it. How could you be so powerful? It's not fair. Sasuke gritted his teeth. Says the one who was going to have the uber hacks sharing with the ability to copy every jutsu, seeing everything in slow motion. ND blah 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 whatever more I don't know. Naruto snorted in retort and Sasuke winced. Well, you got a point, but still, if Naruto hadn't known better he could have sworn that Sasaki was pouting. All right, you two. Kakashi grabbed the boy's shoulders and turned them back to the story. The fact that you have natural affinities from birth doesn't mean much as you advance in your career. Fear. You can even gain all of them if you train yourself hard enough. In fact, the third Hokage was born with fire element, but during his reign as Hokage, he mastered all five affinities and was incredibly competent with all of them. Wow. Really? Naruto blinked in surprise. That was a piece of information he hadn't known. I didn't expect Gigi to be that strong. He isn't known as the god of shinobi for nothing, Naruto. Kakashi smiled. But enough talking. Sasaki, you're lucky that my main affinity is lightning, so I already have the training program of yours in my mind. Naruto, how's your wind element training going? He piece of cake. Watch. Naruto flashed his trademarked foxy grin. He grabbed a leaf on the ground and channeled his chakra through it. The leaf split in half. Hey, wait a second. Sasaki suddenly asked. In his voice, there was a hint of anger. Why did Naruto have elemental training before me? Oh. It's because he asked me first, Kakashi answered. Sasaki fumed again. Why do I need to ask for everything I want? And why do you think you don't, Sasaki? Kakashi countered with a sharp voice. In this world, you're in no position to order people to give you what you want. People will only hand you things because they want to. If you want something, you have to ask for it first and wait to see if they're willing to give it to you or not. If they aren't, scram. You don't have the right to force people to hand things to you. No one has. Sasaki winced again. Those words were just like what Na had told him the other day. Na slapped him on the back. Oh. Chill out, trademark. At least you were properly trained in fire element already. So if there was anyone who should be jealous, it would be me, not you. Touché, Sasaki muttered. All right, now as all the disputes have been settled, let's get to training, shall we? Kakashi smiled. Sasaki, get a leaf on that tree over there and try to make it wrinkled with your chakra alone. Like this, he grabbed a leaf and channeled chakra through it. It crumpled. And now since you have completed the first step already and we have no waterfall here. I've done waterfall cutting too, but it doesn't seem very good. Na interrupted. Kakashi's visible eye widened that fast. Very well, if it comes to this, he looked around and pointed below the construction zone. Try to cut the river in half and we'll see. Na followed his finger and sweat dropped. You've got to be kidding me. Sasaki and Naruto pushed the door open only to find the others lying half dead behind it. Holy shit, Na gaped. Did Zabuza attack you guys? Kakashi-sensei is worse than Zabuza, Ka muttered and smashed his face on the ground. He was too exhausted to even keep speaking. What did he make you do? Sasaki raised his eyebrow. Only Sakura had enough energy left to groan. 10 kilometers of running non-stop, then 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and 100 squats continuously. Ooh. Na winced. That's brutal. Hope you won't lose all your hair because of that. Ah. But I think we should stop talking. Sensei's coming. At that moment, Kakashi and Zuna stepped into the room. Ah. I see that you all survived. Good. Kakashi nodded with a smile. Then tomorrow we will continue, and if possible I will push it another level further. Everyone groaned. From that day onwards, Sakura couldn't decide that she hated Kakashi more when he was lazy or when he finally became serious. Why do you try so hard? You're all going to be killed. Everyone lifted their eyes off the dinner to see Inari scowling at the door. Tsunami exclaimed in relief. Inari, where have you been? I thought something happened to you. What do you mean when you say we're going to be killed, brat? Ka asked. The next time we face that masked bastard, well, show them who is boss. Right. Akamaru. The white dog barked in agreement. HMP. Inari sneered bitterly. No one can beat God. No matter how hard you train, you're still no match for his men. When facing the strong, the weak will only end up getting killed. Whatever, kid. Na yawned. After this training, the weak ones will no longer be us anymore, and we will save the land of Wave from God. Shut up. Stop talking like you understand about this country. Inari screamed. Tears started to roll down his cheeks. You ninjas are always goofing around. You don't know how hard life can be. Stop trying to be heroes. There is nothing as a hero anyway. Everyone suddenly felt an ominous flare of rage. Na stood up and walked towards Inari. His eyes were red and slitted. Slap. Inari was sent flying and slammed into the wall. It's needless to say how surprised and shocked everyone in the room was upon Naruto's sudden outburst. Sakura bolted up from her seat. Na, why did you? Na glared back at her, and Sakura flinched under the gaze of her teammate. Never before had she seen Na so angry. Even the rage in the conference room 2 days ago was nothing comparing to this. Don't worry, I held back. Na said coldly. Then he turned back to Inari. You know what, brat? If you, as well as everyone of this village, keep that attitude, you will be stuck with God for at least half a century more. Posing as the star of the tragedy and crying all day won't help you taking down tyrants. And about that latter statement, he growled dangerously. Don't ever think that only you have a hard life. There are many people in this world who have hells of a life comparing to yours. At least you still have a mother and a grandfather who care for you. Then he kicked the door open. Hinata called after him worriedly. Wait, Naruto, your dinner. Sorry, Hinata-chan, but I lost my appetite. I need to let my stress loose for a while. Don't go look for me. And with that, Naruto walked out of the house into the darkness, leaving behind 11 pairs of eyes, which were all staring at his disappearing back. Aura HH. Tree bark flew everywhere after another failed attempt of Naruto's other signature jutsu slammed into the trunk. Na slumped down on the ground. His chakra reserve was considerably larger than that of even his mature body, but it wasn't unlimited. After so many failures of using the Rinnegan, he had begun to feel the burden of chakra exhaustion, and pain was wrecking through his body as if a truck had just hit him. Damn it. After all those chakra control practices, I still can't use it properly. And why does my body hurt so much? Those words of Inari, just remembering about it sent pain through his heart. Now, hearing it directly from the boy's mouth again, it hurt even worse. He knew that the boy didn't really mean it. But still, even if you're upset, you shouldn't exhaust yourself like that, nah. We don't want you to lie unconscious during the whole mission, right? He didn't have to turn back to know the owner of that voice. I told you that you shouldn't go look for me, Kakashi-sensei. Kakashi stepped into the clearing. He looked around. Rasengan, so, what you said about coming from the future is not a farce. I see. I told you. Na smirked tiredly. Kakashi sat down on the ground beside him. However, using such a jutsu in a large scale will wear you down very quickly. Just take it easy and have a break, will you? He patted the ground and Na let his body fall on the bed of grass. It's hard to believe I could ever see you guys once more. He mouthed. Kakashi smiled sadly. He understood how hard it had been to Na when Inari barked those words at his face, considering he had been from an apocalyptic future where all his precious people had been killed right in front of him. He started trying to change the subject. So, how am I in the future? Na chuckled. Still a lazy one and an addict, but you could be serious when the situation needs you to. You have well had I don't know the Manekio sharing with a jutsu called Kamui which can open a black hole on the air and suck everything into it. Well, during my time someone told me that you had to kill someone close to you to achieve it. But no, I don't think you're someone who did something like that to your friend. And he couldn't finish his sentence. He didn't want to remind himself again how Kakashi was killed by the hand of Moa. Kakashi grimaced. He already knew that he had the Mangekyo sharing and he also knew exactly who he had killed to get it. And that's the reason why he had never wanted to use it despite whatever powers it might bring him. His lack of chakra to use the technique even once didn't help either. I'm not as good as you think, nah, he said solemnly. During one mission, my teammate Ren was captured by Kariaka and turned into the Sandy's Jinchuriki. They planned to unleash the beast in the middle of Konoha to destroy it from the inside and to protect the village. Kakashi's voice quivered. She plunged herself right into my Chidori. I couldn't stop. I killed her. Kakashi's voice shook and died. Naruto's eyes widened. All those times he had never known, never bothered to ask. So that's the reason why Obito flipped out like that. Kurama said she was also shocked by Kakashi's story. He must have seen that happen somehow. No, that's impossible. Everyone inside Naruto's head turned to Isabu, the one who had just raised his voice. Beads of sweat were rolling down his face, and his eyes were full of realization. In beast form, his face was covered with hard shell, so they couldn't see its color, but they're sure that if they could, it would be covered in white. What do you mean? Isoken. Chom asked. Isabu nodded grimly. I've never had a female Jinchuri in my life. There is no way someone can seal me into a Jinchuri without me knowing about it. Kakashi and Obito had both been tricked. If the news that Zabuza was alive was a bomb, the information Isabu had just brought them would be just like a nuclear warhead being detonated in the middle of Naruto's mindscape. Damn it, Guyuki cursed. It must have been that aloe vera guy of Akatsuki. People said that his transformation was perfect and couldn't be detected even by Dojutsu. If that's the case, making some clones of that Ren girl and some mist cannon fods would just be a child's play to him. Naruto's face went white in shock and anger. Kurama, can you check the surrounding for eavesdroppers? There's no one around here except for you two. But the vixen's eyes widened. You're going to tell him. I have to do it. There is no reason to keep Kakashi-sensei mourning about something he didn't do. What are you crazy? Shukaku protested. There's no telling what will happen if someone else knows that information. If the Akatsuki knows about it, I believe in Oni-chan. This time every head turned to Siko, the one who had just blurted out those words. It's just like Udakata NC-han again. Saiko hung her head. It's because of something I did that he couldn't live a day without regret. I don't want something like that to happen again. All the other tailed beasts winced. They had all known about the accident of Utakata in the shared mindscape before, and they understood how their little sister had felt when the Jinchuri she loved and respected as a brother almost killed himself. Becca. Use of something he hadn't even known about. You're right. Guy finally nodded. I think leaving him in the dark will cause more harm than benefit. Hey, just leave it to the little sister to come up with the brilliant idea. Shukaku chuckled. Psycho blushed. All right, then. Na inhaled sharply. Kakashi-sensei, there is something I need to tell you. Silence filled the air for a while after Naruto told Kakashi the story. Then screams of bloody murder could be heard echoing through the forest. Oh, at the same time, a certain Uchiha who was sitting in the realm of the dead, waiting to be revived, suddenly cringed. What do you mean I cannot go into tailed beast mode? It was almost a week since the ambush in the forest. Everyone was progressing nicely. Sasaki had quickly gotten the hang of his lightning element and was now struggling on the second step of his training. Sakura's stamina, strength, chakra reserve, and taijutsu had all improved drastically thanks to the brutal training sessions of Kakashi. And now she was starting on her chakra nature, which was checked by Kakashi and identified as Earth. Kurani had mostly recovered and she was now training Team 8 in ambush tactics as well as improving their teamwork and their clan abilities even more. It could be said that Team 8 would be a match for Team 7 when it came to fighting as a team right now if they went all out. Therefore, the declaration of Kurama to Naruto was nothing less than a hammer to his head. Sheesh, could you be a little bit louder? There might be someone 50 miles away who didn't hear you. Kurama answered sarcastically. We're in my mind, Naruto deadpanned. Kurama snorted. And I didn't say you couldn't, she added. It's just your body cannot handle something like the tailed beast mode at the moment. Why? Na blinked. I've used your chakra for a very long time, haven't I? Using our chakra is one thing, but going full tail beast is different from just a little chakra. Naruto Matabe said the full beast form is basically using all of our chakra at the same time to create an avatar of ourselves using the body of the Genchuri as a base. Because of that, the strain each time you go full form is incredibly great. A human's body is not strong enough to handle all those chakra at the same time. You know that's why Genchuriki only go full form as a last resort when their enemies are so powerful they cannot fight them with normal skills. With your child body right now, going full form means crippling your body from chakra overload. That and there is another reason Kokuo chimed in order to go full form. The beast and the Genchuriki have to perfectly synchronize their minds together. With Kurama you might have reached that state already considering how long she had been sealed inside you. But with us, you will need some more time before we can achieve perfect unison. Without that, there is only one way to go full beast, which is letting us take over your body completely, which will kill you. Na shuddered. So that's why Erosen only focused on training my body during those 3 years. Then he pouted. But that's not fair. That means I cannot use the tailed beast bomb. What if some powerful enemies show up? How can I beat them without your ultimate skill? Matabe glared at Guyuki. You just have to go and tell him that, did you? Guy scratched his head sheepishly. Don't listen to what that muscle-head guy said, nah. Kokuo said. Sure, the tailed beast bomb is a very powerful attack, but that's not our greatest skill. The ultimate power we tailed beasts grant a Genchuri is the ability we inherited from the Jubi, creation of all things. Naruto's face twisted into an odd look. Hey, what is the creative whatever thing? We can create things from our chakra. Shomei chirped happily. Yeah, that's basically it. Kokuo nodded in agreement. It's the ability that allows us to create things from chakra alone. Remember the staff and those orb things Obito created when he first created the incomplete Jubi. We can do something similar to that. We can help our Genchuri to create wings to fly, gills to swim underwater, ink to write, and even weapons to fight with. They're not as potent as the weapons the Jubi creates, but they're still very useful. Then the horse chuckled. Ironically, it is also the technique that created us in the first place. You know, our father, the Sage of Six Paths, is a master of this technique. He can create almost anything with only his imagination and chakra. If anyone looked at Naruto's eyes at the moment, they would surely find stars sparkling in them. Well, in his mindscape anyway, he's meditating in the outside world. So cool. Can you teach me that? Please. 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 Everyone's sweat dropped. Hey. Leave your study until later. Haku's behind you. Naruto's eyes snapped open right in time to grab the extending arms next to his head and flip the person behind him over his head, slamming the slim body to the ground. Kaya. The kimono of his assailant was flipped open, revealing a pair of small white panties with absolutely no bulge under it. Oh, was the only smart word Na could blurt out before a scream pierced his ears and a hand landed on his right cheek. Real smooth, Na. Real smooth. Kurama and the other girls face pod while the boys laughed their asses off. After some more cliché introduction scenes, Haku and Naro was sitting on the ground facing each other. Both their faces were bright red. You shouldn't have done something like that to a girl. Naruto-kun. Matabe scolded Na. He snapped back in embarrassment. Oh. Come on. The last time we met, she told me she was a boy. How should I know that she really is a girl? Yeah, I know. The cat waved him off. But anyway, didn't you owe her an apology? Na sighed, shaking his head to clear the image of Haku's panties from his head. Damn you, author. I'm not a pervert. He inhaled deeply and started. Haku-chan, I'm sorry for doing something like that to you. You know, you were just too quiet. And well, it's okay, Naro-kun, Haku replied. Her face was still having a red tint. I just didn't expect to find someone here in the forest at this time. You know, you were just sitting there with your eyes closed. I thought you were sleeping. And hey, I'm just meditating. Na chuckled sheepishly. It's a good way to train my mind, you know. Haku rubbed her cheek with her finger. So with that hit I ate, you're a ninja, right? Wow, you're incredible. Na almost cringed. The smile of the girl in front of him, it was so fake. The last person he saw with that kind of smile was Sai. His experiences with his ex-root friend had shown him how horrible someone's past was if they had that smile on their face. His stomach churned up. The last time they met, he hadn't been able to ask her about her past. What had Haku suffered in her childhood to make her like this? Naruto-kun, are you alright? Naruto snapped back to reality and realizing Haku was looking at him with a confused expression. He smiled awkwardly. Nothing. I was just thinking about something. Then he looked around trying to find something else to talk about. Hey, those herbs, are they for you? Haku shook her head. No, it's for someone who is very important to me. Zabuza Na thought. Your parent, I guess. The girl let out another smile, but this time Na could swear it was the most genuine smile he'd ever seen. It was full of happiness. No, but in some ways, he's like a father to me. He has raised me since I was a child. She didn't say anything else, but Naruto knew she was telling the truth. Being an orphan himself, he understood the happiness of having someone who cared for him, even if it was only for their own benefit. No wonder why Haku loved Zabuza so much. Haku stood up and grabbed her basket. Oh. I have to go now, Naruto-kun. It's so nice to meet you. I hope someday we will see each other again. Na stared after the retreating back of the girl, murmured. Yeah. I hope so too, Haku-chan. God-sama, we've found the profiles of those two ninja Tuna hired. Gado looked at the two sheets of paper on his desk, his eyes narrowed. Kakashi Hitaki. If what the paper said was true, that man would be the infamous copy ninja, the man who possessed the power of the Sharingan and was rumored to have copied over 1,000 jutsu. That ninja would give even Zabuza a hard time in a battle, even if the missing nin was in full condition. And together with him was Kuraniaoi, the genjutsu mistress of Kanahagaka. Those two together, they might be able to spoil his plan of taking down Zuna and crushing the spirit of all citizens in the land of waves once and for all. He had to do something. His eyes caught the bounty on the two ninjas' head, and his mouth twisted into an evil grin. Spread the rumor that Zabuza Mamaki, the devil of the hidden mist, Kakashi Hatake, the copy ninja of the Sharingan, and Kuraniaoi, the genjutsu mistress of Kanahagaka, was spotted in the land of waves. Make sure that it reaches that man. When the thug was out of the room, God started to cackle. No one would get in the way of the CEO of God Company. Today was Team Aid's a shift of guarding Zuna at the construction zone. However, Kurenai had wanted to teach Ka and Shino some more about cooperating attacks. So, Kakashi, Sasake, and Sakura had volunteered of taking their shift instead. Sasake because his training didn't require him to stay in one place, and Sakura because she wanted to escape from the hell training of Kakashi for a day. But when they reached the bridge, a horrible scene unveiled in their eyes. All the workers in the construction zone were murdered brutally. Blood covered the half-completed bridge and corpses littered around. Mist started filling the air. He's here, Kakashi said, and the three genin tensed up. Their hands reached their weapon pouches. From inside the mist, the familiar form of Zabuza emerged. Hello, Kakashi. So guys, what do you think about this Naruto story? Tell me your opinion in the comments. And if you want more Naruto What If stories, make sure to subscribe to Universe of Naruto. Thanks for watching.